Hello. Well, that was quick. That was the quickest 24 hours ever. Right, see you later. Bye. That is the only way I was ever going to get out of it. Right, so welcome. Thank you for joining us. Massive issues before we even went live. It's just been my computer locked, couldn't do anything, shut down. Anyway, it's going now. It's working. Got iPad back up. I'm in this chair for 24 hours.
I had to switch chairs because like my other chair was not comfy for 24 hours. But
I nearly had to switch computers, but I've got my iPad back up, so I'm not having to go downstairs. All the sleeping arrangements have been sorted. Ignore the camera.
The elephant in the room. Andy's ever-changing camera angles.
So I've got a new webcam, like decent one. It's got AI tracking. I cannot get into the settings to change it. So if I move, it moves with me. So wherever, and it will zoom right in. I had to get something from the back of the room before, and it zoomed in on my backside. I'm like, what are you doing? You're just a camera. Yeah. So it'll keep zooming in and out. It'll put me in the bottom corner like 2 seconds, then it'll go back, and yeah.
So every time you move, the camera moves.
Yeah. Nice one, Joe. Thank you. So we're just going to give you a quick rundown before we bring our first two guests on. It's going to be very fun tonight. So I've got a coffee machine, coffee, Monster energy drinks, pre-workout, not that I'm doing a pre-workout, and fresh water and everything else, and yeah. So
I've got about 4 days on deck. Celsius should really sponsor me. The amount that I drink.
Yeah.
Every investigation, every like late night anything, Celsius.
Yeah. So I just want to say,
fruit snacks. I've got a notebook to write down all.
Yes. Well, we'll tell them about that in a minute. So yeah, so we've got everything. I'm gonna be sat here. I don't have to change, like I said, don't have to change rooms. Everything's set up. So we're good to go. Might be a few technical issues along the way, but we have got ways around it all. And that's it. So just want to say thank you to everyone who's tuning in. I want to say a massive thank you now to every single guest, to Nickname for sorting this out, for Nicole for some bad reason deciding that she wants to do this for 24 hours. Everyone who's going to be in the chat, nickname Og and Michael Kopp, who are going to be modding throughout. And there may be a couple of others. There are going to be people jumping on as co-hosts. Some we know, some we don't know. There is at least, did we say 22 people that we don't know who are coming on? And some of the other guests, like there's a couple that are waiting now. Nickname arranged it all, so I've not even had a chance to talk to anybody. I know 3 people who's coming on: BMR Rob, Paul Sinclair, and Earl Grey. That's it. You haven't got a clue who any of the others are, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
going to be long, and then straight from this, I'm going to a Halloween party. It starts at 6 p.m. Tomorrow. Ignore the camera. Starts at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. tomorrow. I'm just turning up as everyone's going home, I think.
Episode of Alienate UK, though, if we didn't have some kind of weird technical thing going on.
Well, you've got it's so distracting though. But I can't do anything because my other camera wasn't working. The other one's boxed up to be sent back. I've got this or nothing. So let's just let it roll, and that's it. So I guess I'm going to bring them on in about 10 minutes, if that's okay. I think they can hear me. Can you do a thumbs up if you can hear? But are you all right to come on in 10, Paul and Rebecca? Thank you. And then we'll find out about them. Well, also, me and Nicole have decided we're going to play a game while we're doing this as well. So because we don't know who some of the guests are, we've got predictions pre-written of who they're going to be. So shall we give them out now, or should we do it as we go?
I think we should say who they are, and then we can see if we're right.
Right. So I wrote mine down this afternoon. Well, early this evening. So these are my predictions of who I think may or may not. These are ones I think will be coming on, but I don't know. I know Nicola's been posting in the groups. I've not been on I have been on Facebook, but I've gone on post, put on what I needed to, send. That's it. I've not seen anything on Facebook at all today. So these are what I've got: Steve Mera, Barry Fitzgerald, Nathaniel Gillis, Ash Ellis, Vincent Richardson, Al Santariga, the Watchfather, Preston Dennett, Albert Rosales, with or without his wig, and Stuart Hunter, aka Umbraman. Now, I don't know if I'm right on any of them, but I think if I am, I should get £10 off each person watching if I get correct. Yeah?
All right. It sounds like a good deal. All right, you want to hear my guesses?
Go on.
Al Santariga, Barry Fitzgerald, Paranormal Pixie, Albert Rosales, Nathaniel Gillis, Alex Lovelock, Tommy's mom.
Oh, no. Tommy. Oh, my. Imagine.
She has a lot of friends. Nickname might be one of them.
She has a lot of made-up friends as well, so I'm not sure about that. I think that might be a bit of a, one of those.
All right, the ladies from Twinvestigate.
Yes.
And Josh Gates, because I'm just manifesting that.
Right. So, should we go with Joe Rogan as well then? Why not?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Right. This camera is not going to last 24 hours. Put it that way. It's going to end up 2 yogurt cartons and a really long piece of string.
Take bets now how long this camera is going to last, guys. Before he switches to the other one that he's trying to send back.
Well, it's at the side of me. It's in the box. It'll take like 2 minutes to plug it in and everything. So, right.
So how long in the chat? How long do you give it?
Yeah. Put your guesses in now. Right. So, a few minutes before we bring Paul and Rebecca on. So, just want to say thank you to everyone who's going to be listening on podcast. The reason we've done it in 3-hour blocks or thereabouts, it's if you want to watch a particular guest, it's going to be a lot easier to find it in a short video rather than 2 12-hour videos, because it's just a nightmare, especially when you or we don't know what guest is coming on at what time, because I'm not going to be adding the names of everyone in each section until next week when I've had some sleep. So anyone watching it back, they're going to be as clueless as what we are. There's no timestamp for everyone. Thank you, nickname. Oh, that means I've got one right. So yeah, so that's why it's in the 3-hour segment. So the first segment is 3.5 hours, then the next 6 are 3 hours, and the last one is 2.5 hours. Just because of that half, the 8:30, just so that half, rather than having the guests coming on at 10:30, 2:30, 4:30. Do you know what I mean? It's just easier if it's like on the hour. And that is pretty much all I've got. I've no other updates. I'm just not looking at my camera. It's no, I don't. It's doing me. I didn't. Well, at least it's working.
It's 2 minutes with that camera.
Yeah, 2 minutes longer. Oh, right, it's fine. So, oh yeah, so all questions, because it's going to be a long one, all questions will have to be in capitals and with a emoji in front. I have made some new banners. And you know what? The new banners are in a different chat. Right.
Chat 2, chat 3.
Yeah, don't even ask. Why they're not here?
Motion sickness from this
camera. Why are they not here? Oh, I don't know. The banners have gone.
The ones that you just put up?
Yeah.
They're like this one?
Yeah. Where are they?
In under banners?
I'm in banners. Yeah.
All right, well, tell me which one you want, and I'll put it.
Any of them. You'll have to do the banners because I can't see anything. What is going on? Yes. Yeah. Just scroll. If you just click on them and scroll through. What has happened? All I've done is been to work. I've had a really easy day. Right. I've come in, sat down, and I don't know what's going on. If I go on banners, nothing. No.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Should be about 10.
9, 10, 11 banners.
Yeah. What is happening?
I don't know.
Right, you'll just have to keep. Can you do the banners and I'll do the questions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all questions start with a emoji and.
Are you in the right folder? Because there's folders.
What?
There's folders. If you click banners, there's folders.
Oh, I've got Alienate UK 7 banners. Right, let me refresh before I bring the guests on, because they're probably watching this now thinking, what the hell have we got ourselves into? It's never like this. I know. I was just feel all I have to do is come in. Come in, sit down, talk. That's it. Mm-hmm. Right, and let me refresh it and see if it works. I'll be 2 minutes, guys.
Now I'm running the show, and I can put up all the banners. Oh, Andy's back.
Right, here I am.
Hostile takeover.
Right, banners are there.
Got
All
'em?
good. Right, let's swap. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I know why I'm red. I'm flustered.
It's fine. We have, another 23 and a half hours to figure this out.
Still won't be long enough. Hi, Gerald. And you won the you got a free membership as well. Oh, should we do that quickly before we bring the guests on? Because it's the first of the month. We can do the 10 membership giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck, everyone. You're not going to win anything other than your name in green, but it's better than a camera that doesn't know what it's doing. Here we go. Right. So we have Paraman, Stuart Farrington, Midwest, Conjure Quest, and Married with Paranormal, Scared Silly.
Nice.
Excellent. And then the next 5 are going to be... See, Daryl, don't say I never give you anything. Mike, Drew Banker, A Lazy Chicken, Sunny 11, To Investigate. I don't know, is that Sarah or Emma?
I don't know, but either one. Congrats.
Well, welcome to the membership.
They haven't even said hi in the chat.
Say again?
To Investigate. They're lurking. They didn't say hi, even though they were here.
No, they're not lurking.
Well, hi, Sarah or Emma, whichever one you are.
No, oh no. So what it does, whether they're watching or not, it'll give out membership to anyone who's subscribed to the channel.
Oh, I thought they had to be in the chat.
That I did, but I looked into it and it's just anyone subscribing.
Okay.
So
that makes more sense then.
Yeah, ignore Nicole. Sorry. Right. So we're coming up to 10:02, so I think we should bring the guests on because they've been sat waiting patiently. So, but guys, do remember that not all guests are going to be talking about paranormal. Some are going to be talking about non-paranormal, normal.
And by hour 21, we might all be talking nonsense. So
I'd give it 20 minutes, to be honest with you. So, right. So just do this last hello, and then we'll bring them on. So let's welcome to the show Paul and Rebecca Whitewick. Hello, welcome to the show, guys. I just need to unmute you. Sorry. There we go. Can you hear us okay?
Hello.
Excellent. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming on.
It's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure. Just a disclaimer, first of all. If you think you're not organised or you're not technical, you've not worked with us, because we are very not technical. Yeah, we've got one pair of headphones between the two of us, so
you have to do that.
Yeah. But we'll
you just
get
gotta make
it.
it really big and just.
Yeah.
Thank
you for coming on.
We'll work it
yeah,
out.
you have to do DJ headphones, twist them round. So I was trying to work out in my head then if you guys were American or English.
Okay.
And I went with American, and I got obviously completely wrong. So, but no, thank you for coming on.
To be fair, I don't know if we've got
it's a bit of a mix.
We've got a bit of a mix, kind of a little bit of Wiltshire, a little bit of Cockney, London.
Well, nice to have you on, and nice to meet you both.
Pleasure.
So,
good to meet you too.
So you have, because I've got very limited information on the guests that I do know that are coming on, just because it'd be too much info to fit in all the notes that we've got together. Yep. So I've got, in brackets, YouTube documentaries.
Ooh,
and then
what kind of YouTube documentaries?
So can you tell us about the documentaries? I'm guessing you make the documentaries. You don't just get them and put them on there. You actually go out and create them.
Yeah. So we've been doing YouTube for probably 6 or 7 years. So I should sort of give you the disclaimer first. I wasn't aware that you guys didn't know your guests, which is brilliant. I love that kind of idea that someone's got to organise it for you and chuck guests. That's fantastic. So we've been doing YouTube probably for 7 or 8 years now, something like that. And we've slowly been sort of learning how to do it. But yeah, so we make documentaries. We make history-based documentaries, normally about something to do with an old route. So whether it's an old canal, old railway, old Roman roads. And we've just evolved the channel over the years. And we've done pretty good from it, I would say, sort of just by muddling and learning it ourselves. We haven't sort of we don't have any background. We just fudged along and just sort of worked out what the best way to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Same way I've done it.
Basically, you just learn as you go. So I was very aware when we got invited on, was kind of like, well, we don't really do paranormal, we don't really get involved with that sort of thing. But if you want us to maybe offer what we've learned from our channel and our journey, we can sort of give you our little YouTube, how to do okay on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? So sort of a weird opening for you guys on your completely mad 24-hour journey. You are crazy, by the way. That's just absolutely mad.
You may end up doing a documentary on us when we completely lose our shit after 24 hours.
There'll be plenty of content. So we think we've got like 140,000 subscribers, something like that.
Wow.
And we kind of get anything between. We recently had 1 million views actually on one video, which was quite cool. But we normally get anything between 30 to 200 as an average. So we've got an idea. We've got a rough idea how to play the YouTube game, if that makes sense. So what we thought, we'd tell you what we can do. What we know about is how to play the YouTube, how to sort of work the algorithm. So we thought, well, maybe a bit of fun to just sort of go through what we've learned. And if there's people watching your channel, watching your live stream, that sort of want to learn how to play the YouTube game to their advantage, we can sort of give you some ideas and tips on that.
Oh, definitely. The more ideas and tips is you can't have enough, put it that way. Because I've been doing this to this level, I'd say 3 years, but I'm still learning. It's not just that. It's like, as you know, YouTube, they'll bring new features in, or they'll get rid of old ones. So then it's like it's a whole new learning process yet again for something else that's come on. So you're forever learning, for sure. Even this week we're sort of learning different things, different intros, different sort of how to tweak an intro just a bit. And you're always concentrating on one sort of specific area. Have YouTube changed it? Our life is sort of watching various guides on YouTube, just to sort of try and just get the most out of it, But it's a fascinating thing, and it's really cool to sort of be on your live stream to a completely different audience to what we would normally get. So it's kind of like this is quite cool, because we do speak to a lot of people that are into sort of the folklore and the history of the places we go to, and so there is a bit of a crossover, and you kind of think, oh, that's kind of cool to sort of learn about you guys and your separate world to ours, but also one that does it
intertwines quite a lot.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So how did you get started doing that?
We started because there was a few YouTube channels we watched, and we just thought, it looks quite fun. Do you know what I mean? It looks like the person making it's having a bit of fun. And we had like an old camera lying around, like a Canon, like a photo camera, but we thought, that does video too. Do you know what I mean? And we just, I don't even know what we did. We just went somewhere and did a vlog. Do you know what I mean?
We did a whole line.
Yeah, we did a railway line, didn't we?
We did a railway line. We just fancied doing it. We took the kids with us. We just did it one day and just sort of thought, actually, this is quite fun.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like really quickly, it became really addictive. Like, it's a really weird thing to say about YouTube, but you're like, so we did this video, this vlog, and we just fudged it together, just put these clips in this timeline, and we're like, we'll put a video out, and you get a few people watch, and you get some lovely comments, and we're like, oh, this is really addictive. This is like, I don't know what the word is, was like a dopamine hit or whatever it was. Someone says, oh, that was funny, and you're like, oh, cool, I'm funny. Do you know what I mean? And but seriously, and then all of a sudden you're putting out a video a week, and you're like, I shouldn't stop this because it's fun, it's addictive, and maybe I shouldn't stop because I'll lose the traction. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally get that.
Yeah, completely. But what I was going to say is, if anyone's got any questions as we're talking, just type away, because we'll happily answer. We haven't got a script or anything to talk about in terms of.
No, that's right.
Yeah, so
I'm just going through the looking at the chat, and there's someone's just put baby with a laser. I think so. This is Darren. Think I've seen a few of these guys' videos. Think they were on a Martin Zero video.
Yeah, that's a whole subject in itself. Collaborations, right? Because I don't know how we did it, but we landed. I don't know what was the right phrase, but landed a gig with Martin Zero. Lovely guy, Mancunian, does sort of Mancunian history videos. Yeah. It was great to spend some time with him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we only had like 1,000 subscribers at the time when we went on his channel. And like overnight, because we were in one of his videos, overnight 3,000 subscribers, and we're like, wow. It was like, I can't tell you how, and because we struggled to get to 1,000. Like we struggled. It's like right, zero to 100 is hard work. 100 to 1,000 is ridiculously hard work. And we were like, every day you're like, oh, I've got another subscriber, and we went on Martin. We did this collab with Martin, and he was so kind. He was like, like go and subscribe to these guys' channel, go and subscribe. Really, and boom, like 3,000 subscribers overnight. And we're just like, oh my God, this is like the best thing ever. So if that's one of the biggest tips. If you're a small YouTuber, let's say, and you're looking to build your channel, just like network like you've never believed. Network. Because it works, and people are lovely. The community of YouTube. I've yet to meet someone that we don't like that makes videos. In 7 years. It is a really wholesome, place to be. Every creator is looking out for other creators. Do you know what I mean? We found out all the way. People are really kind to you, and I thought, well, we need to give that back because
But there's a guy I know. He's a wedding photographer. He does photography, but his main job, he does weddings, and he lives on a narrowboat, and he's got a YouTube channel of him living on the boat, like when he's got a leak or when he's got to like rewire, do the rewiring and that. And the views that he gets, it's like it's proper niche, but the amount of views that he gets, it's like I need to go and live on a boat.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of those sort of channels, isn't there? And they're all sort of interesting in their own way. We watch a couple of those. We watch. I mean, there's Cruise in the Cup. We've watched for a long time. And who's the couple that does the? You can't hear any of this. I'm sorry.
No, I can't. It's fine. I'm just rolling.
lip
reading and then listening to me talk. If I take the headphones out, it's going to sound terrible for these guys.
Yeah, it's true.
Who else do we watch? Who's the couple that we watch on the Canal Boat vlog? Holly the Cafe Boat. Holly the Cafe Boat. And they get like 50,000 views every video, consistent. They've got like the single most consistent YouTube channel.
They do.
And it's great to watch. Yeah. Like the consistency, because we don't have that consistency.
No, we're all a bit up and down.
Yeah. It's good fun.
So what's your favourite part of being a YouTube creator then?
Oh, what's my favourite part of being a YouTube creator?
The variety of being able to go out and doing what you want and learning stuff about the history and what you're sort of doing the videos on. You learn something different every single time we do a video. And it's things you probably wouldn't really go out and learn unless you were doing these videos. Yeah, it's not a daily thing, is it? This is
it. So you've not seen our channel, Andy, which is kind of cool, right? So
not yet.
No, that's fine.
I will be doing. Trust me.
Yeah. So the cool thing is, right? So our rule is kind of we try and put a video out every Sunday evening, like 5 o'clock. Because one of the biggest rules is stick to the consistent time, so your audience knows what to expect and when to expect it. So we try and do once a week. So with that, we try and do something slightly different every week. Whatever the history subject, we try and make it slightly different. But every week you're learning something, because we're not historians, so like we haven't like got this amazing educational background. We literally wing it every week. We've got a massive board of ideas, and we're like, right, what has fallen into our net this week of interest? God, what was it? So a couple of weeks ago we did one which was a bit folklore-y, trying to keep it on point. We did sort of the history of Wychwood Forest. So Wychwood is a place near, you may have heard of it or not, sort of north east of Oxfordshire. And
I know Oxford quite well, because I'm in Northampton, so I'm not a million miles away.
Well, sort of between Oxford, Witney and Northampton direction, there was this massive forest called Wychwood, and it used to be the biggest forest in the country. And I thought, well, that's got a clickbait title, the UK's biggest lost forest or whatever. And you just think, okay, I know nothing about this place, but I love the title. So literally we spend 3 or 4 days researching anything quirky about this forest, and we just try and tell its history. The history for the ages, whether it's sort of Neolithic, Bronze Age, Iron Age, Roman, who was there, what are the stories about it. And I think, so to answer your question, probably the most interesting bit about the journey is learning. You just fill your head with all this stuff, and you do it from you guys, I'm sure you guys do it when you visit places, or if something different comes up, and you just immerse yourself in this world that you may not have understood. And I love it. Absolutely, it's like I say, it's addictive.
See,
how much time do you dedicate to the algorithm, like finding the right thumbnail, the right title?
That's a great question. I've got a whole section written down on that. If I said to you, we spend probably 3 hours doing a thumbnail every Sunday morning, you'd probably laugh, because you could look at the thumbnails and you go, Paul, they're not very professional, mate. They don't look that good, Paul. What do you mean you spend 3 hours doing them? But we've got like an AI that helps us sort of capture exactly what YouTube wants. The smiling face, the sort of the color tones, how they work,
the brightness, the background, the wording.
You do the Photoshop for the background and the wording, how the wording works with your title, how it doesn't work with your title as well, because you've got 2 opportunities to give people wording. So you want to sort of maximize your real estate on the thumbnail. The thumbnail, sadly, is the single most important thing. If you had to rank these things in order of what do we look at first, if you can get your thumbnail right, they say 3 different things on your thumbnail. If you can get your thumbnail right, that's your first step.
It's the clickability.
The clickability, and it's so important. It really is the most. So it's a great question. How much time do we spend appeasing the gods of the algorithm? Like a lot, So you've got the title, and you've got the thumbnail. But then you've got, right, okay, well, how do I keep people watching? And you think, right, so you find yourself writing the script to keep people interested in the story as you go along. We do, our videos are like 8 minutes to 15 minutes. And you want people to stick around. So your instant hit, within 2 or 3 seconds of the video starting, you need to give them the reason not to turn off. So I've started a video because I'm just scrolling through my phone, and this guy said something. I have to now stop. I have to now stop and watch that video. And that is, sadly, again, I call this sadly, that is sadly what you need to do. Your job is to make it so people have to watch it, because they need to answer the question you've just given them. So people put clickbait, and it is clickbait, but we call it legit bait. All right. Andy is looking for thumbnail every time.
It is.
It keeps changing.
Every time I blink, it moves. It's like,
that's the best one.
don't know what's going on. Sorry about that.
So someone said in the comments to put clickbait so you get more views. 100%. It's that simple. There's no shame in it. If you want views, you've got to. I don't like the word clickbait, because clickbait implies you're telling them something that you're not giving them. But it's let's call it legit bait, because you're baiting someone, but you're giving them what you're telling them, but you're just selling it a way that means they have to watch it, because it's such a clickable title. You know, they need to know the answer you've just given them. So yeah, it's a great question. It's such an important question.
Yeah. So I've got a question. I want you to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
My thumbnail. What do you think? Is it good?
Where is it? How do I see your thumbnail?
I'm going to show you now.
Oh, cool. Down a bit. Yeah, I mean that looks like, to me, my brutally honest, that looks like a brand.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So that's a good brand because that distinguishes you from anybody else. But it's not a thumbnail. Because my question to you, Andy, is why am I clicking that?
So would a better thumbnail be like a screenshot of like this?
Yeah, because YouTube loves a human face. YouTube loves a human smiling face, but it's a ridiculous thing. But people love to see another person. They want that connection with somebody. So you need to give them a connection. Yeah, you're selling them a connection to you as a person. I keep looking up here. Oh, why am I looking up here? I'm looking there. So you need to sell your audience, and you've got a split second to sell what you're offering. And the thing is, if you make something good, why ever would you not want to sell it? Do you know what I mean? It's like you've just made something, you've written a book, you've made a film. You've got to sell it. You've got to do yourself justice, and you've got to give yourself the value you just created. So if you've got a thumbnail, make it so it's clickable. Give me a human face, and give me a reason that I have to click it. Like, oh God, I need to know. I really need to know what that guy's just asked me. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to consider how fast you scroll through as well. So you personally, if you're watching YouTube and you scroll through quite quickly, everything you get, it's got to stand out.
You've got to eye catching. You can't hear me, can you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
I can't hear.
This is terrible. This is. I'm so sorry. This is.
It's right.
Sorry. Say again.
Turn the subtitles on for her.
That's a great shout.
What do you say?
CC.
Oh.
I can't do that. How do I do that? I can't do that.
Can you do that?
You can only do it if you're watching on.
Maybe not.
If you're watching on YouTube, but then you get feedback, so it might not work.
That's fine.
So,
relaying stuff.
But I did try it. I was doing thumbnails and I was doing like screenshots of this, and it wasn't getting anywhere. And YouTube literally emailed me and said, "No, now you monetize. You need to create your own unique thumbnail for every single video you do, but keep it in unison so people know it's you."
So true. So true. Yeah, that goes with your brand. So the thing you just showed me, that could sit in a corner, like here, like maybe that much, right? But then every thumbnail needs to be different to your last one because you're offering them something new.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It'll be your same face in the video because it's your face, but you still need to be giving them something to do. It needs to stand out. It needs to ask a different question. And if you've got the content, and this is what I always say to people when we've met people and we chat to people, email me and ask me questions because I happily I'll design a thumbnail for you. But it's got to be different.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But give it a couple of days. Email me your next video and I'll do your thumbnail. But send me some pictures and do you know what I mean? Because it's
thank you.
You just got to do yourself justice of making.
Yeah. See, I use Pixar. DaVinci, there's loads of different ones that I use, and depending what I'm doing, I'll mix them together and do a bit on one, bit on the other, and then do it that way. But I was doing it where I had a background, I was putting like the alien in the jar in the bottom corner, and then I was putting like, you can just remove background, so it'd be an image of me, an image of Nicole, put us on, and then images of the guest, and then I'd write across, like say Paul and Rebecca, if it was you two that was going to be on the thumbnail. And that'd be it, because obviously people know me and Nicole are. And that is basically it.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. If it's a podcast, that's not a bad thing because you got human faces. I would just think you need like like the title could be something just to catch them. I don't know off the top of my head, I don't know what that would be, but the human face is everything. So if you're doing a podcast and you've got a couple of guests on, then yes, stick them in the thumbnail too. But what they say about it being you, is right, because people want to know that they're getting you, because they're subscribed to you. So you need to give them the brand, you need to give them that you're in that video, because if they see a random thumbnail you've just made up that has nothing to do with you, they're not going to click it. But your audience will click for you.
So
we do exactly that.
Title for this: How to create the perfect YouTube thumbnail that everybody will watch if they want to know.
Totally. And all of a sudden, but you know, it's a thing. Keep your brand, but just tweak your brand every week.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer that question? So, where in the UK would you like to do a documentary? Where in the world with money, no object, and why? That's a great question. Or what do you reckon?
Mine would be Egypt.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. I love the whole fascination behind the whole kings and pharaohs and everything about ancient Egypt fascinates me. So I would absolutely love to go and do that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Love to.
That's pretty cool. So there's your answer.
I've been once when I was about 9.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really on my forethought of it. I was thinking, oh, history. I really care about it. But I would love to go back and do that.
Cool. Someone says stick to Canva. You use Canva, don't you?
I use Canva a lot, yeah.
So what you
I
said
can't get around it. I can't get around Canva.
You can't work it, no.
No. Pixar is so easy because it's got the AI on it, and DaVinci's got AI on it, and I use Microsoft Copilot as well.
Yeah.
So I use combination different depending what I'm trying to create.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I've got an idea in my head. I've got the idea in my head of how to do the next thumbnail. Well, I'll do it. I'll email it across to you, and then you go, "That's a load of shit. That's a load of shit." Here's one.
Yeah, that's that's crap. I do it again. No.
Yeah.
We love helping other people get on YouTube, because it's such a if you make something you think is good, you've got to do it justice, and that's the biggest thing that people struggle with, I think. But I'll go and stand in the garden. Sorry, say again, Nicole.
It doesn't matter how good it is if nobody sees it.
Totally. Steven Spielberg could make a movie, put it on YouTube under another name, and if it was a terrible thumbnail, no one's watching it. And that's wrong, right?
No.
That shouldn't be a thing, but it is, unfortunately. Did Martin Zero share cakes with you, or did you have to take your own? Love that.
No, we did freak him out once. You did. You had you had was it cheese?
cheese
roll.
We met him in Derbyshire, right? And he brings biscuits, to be fair. He brings biscuits and tea.
And tea, always tea.
We were in a tunnel with him. Right? We were in the Haddon Tunnel, somewhere in Derbyshire.
Yeah.
And you're halfway down this kilometre-long tunnel. We trespassed to get there. And he whops out his flask of tea, and he's like, "Come on, guys, have a brew." But we met him in Derbyshire once, and he was freaked out by what he called this southern tasting food, right? Because I had an egg and cheese bap, right? So like a fried egg with cheese, and he was totally he was like, first of all, he was like deadly serious, like, what are you doing? Like I was in front of him. So then he films it and goes, right guys, you need to look at this. This is wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe it is wrong. I don't know.
It tasted good.
No.
But Martin's a lovely guy. Martin's a great guy.
Cool.
So what other tips can we give you about YouTube? What do you reckon? Where do you want to start? Have you got any more questions?
The main one is that what we've already said.
Thumbnails.
You've got to start with the people being able to click your thumbnail.
Yeah.
Once they've got that far, and you've got the hook at the beginning to keep them on your video.
Yeah.
So what I do is I don't really give it a title. I'll just say, like, say this was just a normal show and it's just us, and then you two are on for the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Whatever, something you say, which I'll write it down, which makes it stand out more than the others.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and because it goes on podcast as well, so it just gives it that little bit of an edge. So I'm just going to look now as to the one that we did the other day with Mick McLaren. So that was, I think we called it Rivington Pike, Bempton, and Transparent Cryptids.
Right.
Because it was to draw people in to them free things.
Okay. The thing for me is straight away, I know none of what you just said. I don't know the place locations, so I try and avoid locations because it's specific to people that know that. I'd almost want to listen to the podcast and like say, what else is in there? What's the juiciest bit to you? What's the most interesting bit that guy talked about? And I'd almost be naming the video that. So forget his name, forget anything. Unless he's like, you know, absurdly famous, I would be going, right, what is the juiciest thing that I learned? What would I want to know? Like you're passionate about the subject, clearly. You're interviewing this guy that you like. So what did he tell you that you didn't know?
Something that's as well. Something that everybody would want to be.
Yeah. You've got to capture people that aren't interested in the subject. Do you know what I mean? So what did he tell you that you didn't you learned on the day and you thought, bloody hell, that's fascinating. There's your title.
Right.
Forget place names, unless it's massive place name, you know, like the pyramids or whatever. But just go with what you learned and what you loved, because your passion in the subject is key. People love you doing your videos and your podcasts because they love you and your passion for it. It's that simple. Right. So what did you learn? Grab it by the lapels and abuse that title, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because we've made this before about being too specific on location.
Yeah.
Where we've done it in the more recent future, recent past, I should say, not recent future, that we've said a particular location, and of course it's only people who really know that location or who are local to it that want to watch it. So that reduces your views massively.
Right.
It's well, it's what I think of. I've missed a question. Did I miss a question?
We're starred, so we can always go back to them.
Oh, fine. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm not very good. We don't do live stream, so I have no idea what we're doing. So I'll leave it in the hands of you guys.
Here we go. So do you put it on now? You want to do this one, Nicole?
Yeah, whatever works.
There you go.
Roman history in the UK, where do you think is the best place for it?
Oh, you see, that's a great question. Do you know one place I haven't really been to properly yet is Hadrian's Wall. It's got a lot of old forts along it they're still intact. It's got a lot of Roman milestones. There's a lot of history there. We tend to just stick down the south, don't we? So we often go and visit. If you're anywhere near, I don't know where you guys are based, but if you're anywhere near sort of Reading direction, go and see Silchester.
Silchester.
Yeah, where are you based roughly?
I'm Northampton, so I'm on that an hour and 20 minutes away.
Yeah, but like
not far.
Sorry, Nicole, second.
I'm in New York, so I'm very far.
Yeah, that's 4,500 miles away.
She's in New York.
Yeah, I got that one.
You got it.
Sometimes I can read it, sometimes I can't.
But yeah, I mean, for me, if I wanted just a nice quiet walk, place called Silchester, and it's like an intact Roman walls, still survives today, 2,000 years on, and you can literally go and touch the old concrete and the flints. Beautiful place, lovely place. Yeah, all good. Hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah. You got any questions, Nicole?
So the title versus the description. Like how does that factor in? So if, like you're saying, you're not using specific place names, but if you have like a legit bait title and then the actual place in the description, will it still pull it up if somebody's searching for that location?
Yes. Yeah, totally. So locations, so in the same way that you put tags in, if you scroll down far enough when you're doing your video, you'll put tags in. Do that in the same in your video. There's no harm in that. So in your video description, put anything and everything that's relevant. So I had today in the podcast we had a chat with so and so. We learned about this and this and this. We visited here and here. As much as you can get out in there for sure. What you got to remember with YouTube is with tags in descriptions, it's kind of limited really, because if people are searching for a specific, I mean, I guess the question is to you guys, how many times have you gone in to the search bar in YouTube manually and typed in something you're looking for? You don't tend to do that. If you're anything like us, you've got 100 people you're subscribed to, plus your feed right down the middle, your feed, and your feed is based on all the people you're subscribing to and any other similar videos. So rarely do I type in. So it is relevant because if people are doing Google searches, it'll come up, and if people are doing YouTube searches, it'll come up. But the biggest audience, the massive chunks of the the hundreds of thousands, are a thumbnail and title, whether someone's interested in that subject or not, that instant click. Our biggest video was the day Silbury Hill collapsed, because they did some excavations on the inside and the inside collapsed. So again, legit bait, Silbury Hill didn't collapse, but we used the titles the day Silbury Hill collapsed. And it seemed like a good thumbnail, and it just took off. And it had everything to do with the sort of the right place, right time, rather than the tags and description. So yes, they're important in my opinion, but really your title and your thumbnail is 98%. And you're going to get views from people searching, but that's where you put your weight of your time. But yeah, use the description, just type as much as you can, because why not? For sure. So what do you guys use for, like, so when you do filming, what do you guys do for what sort of equipment? What are you using to film with?
Well, I use my phone, iPad. I've got a Sony camcorder with night vision. Got a cheap version of a GoPro, but I have it on a body harness, so I use that. I've got night vision goggles. I've just lately, a few weeks ago, bought a drone, so going to start using that. Registered it and all that, so can't get arrested for flying it. So it's just now it's having the time to go out and do all that, but then I can get the footage, put it all together, create a video. That's my plan.
I mean, that's it. That's the well, the people always say, oh, what equipment are you using, what are you using? And you're like, you can use your phone, you can use your phone films as good visual as any camera you'll buy on the market. You can buy fancy cameras, you can buy GoPros that come out your ears, but if you want to start and you haven't got a great deal of money, use your phone. Totally. And I'd say get yourself ideally get yourself like a little mic maybe to plug it in, because the audio on the phone isn't great. But I don't think people realise sort of how easy it is to sort of get started.
Two of them and the adapter, 12 quid on eBay. But I've got a DJI gimbal, so you just put the phone in, and then it just it's just smoother quality, smoother video and all that. So it's all good.
Cool. I mean, that was one of the things we were going to talk about, was how to get started. But I think for us, don't let for people sort of wondering how to get started and how to afford it. Don't be put off by expensive cameras and expensive this and get your phone, get your $12.99 mic, because fantastic. Perfect. Tell you we need. People will be put off by bad audio, but not necessarily by bad visual.
Audio is the worst.
Audio is
your audio perfect, and even if your visual slightly is a bit squiffy, they'll forgive that. But
what I used to do when I had bad audio, I'd reduce the audio volume and put some background music in to kind of like override like the background noise, and then bring it together that way. Yeah,
that works. Someone said team mic. Any mic really works.
It does. Some of the newer phones have a really good audio anyway. My phone, for example, is pretty good actually on its audio. But there are others that are better on sort of the video side or photographic side, that sort of thing. But I think you do well to just start on your phone if you haven't got enough money to.
Okay.
But if I'm just recording audio, I downloaded an app called Dolby On. Don't know if you've ever used it.
Nope.
So download and you can cleans the background. It's clean anyway, but it clears the background noise, and you get these cars going past and all that. It cuts all that out. You're just getting what's going on.
You're looking at me like I heard that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, can you hear what the man says? You can get an app. basically,
Yeah.
for your phone to clear up the audio.
Yes.
So it's kind of doing what your post editing is doing as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
That's where I struggle with. It's the editing. I can film all day, but so I end up just doing like when I do like a live, and then I just take that and put it on there.
Okay. I mean, I kind of love. What's really sad about me is I love the editing, which people hate, and I do get that. I've literally spent like days on YouTube learning how to do certain things. Like I see something in someone else's video, I'm like, how did they do that? And like I want to learn how they did that thing they just did. So I go, like, I use Premiere Pro at the moment, Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm like, right, Premiere Pro, how to do that transition. And I'll literally spend like an hour like trying to do like a 1 second stupid transition. And I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, look what I've done, Rebecca, look what I've done. And she's like, yeah, but it's 2 seconds long for that. What have you been doing for like 2 hours? That is my life.
Well, that's it. But see, I do like the editing, but because I work full time, I don't have time to edit.
Yeah, it's hard.
Work is getting in the way of me doing what I do.
That transition. So we do this nearly full time now. I work 2 days a week, but I do this the rest of the time. And that transition is really difficult to sort of push yourself past. We were just slogging every evening. I was doing 4 hours of editing. And then we're like, well, weekends, let's go away and go do the filming. And then like lunch break, I'm writing a script or trying to research an area. Honestly, we probably spent 4 or 5 years working like 24/7, apart from a bit of sleep in the middle. And it's hard work, but when you get to the point where you think, okay, now it's worth it, and we just reduce work hours. But there's other ways as well. I mean, we can talk about monetization if you like, because the whole picture. Because it's quite a fascinating thing. You know, the first thing we started with was like Patreon. Yes. So it's almost like your members, the same.
I've got Patreon.
Exactly, and that really helped us sort of just get a few bits. Do you know what I mean? Just like
step off the ground.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and that was a godsend, I think, because we had some really loyal people like you guys. It's such a good community of these people that loved what you were doing, and they would tell you, and you're like really sort of wholesome, niceness about it all. And and then I think our second step, and again, you probably do this already, was merch.
No,
well, we didn't do it.
I've done. Do you know what I've done? 4 cups, a t-shirt, and a hoodie that only I have. Well, I've got the t-shirt. The missus has nicked the hoodie off me. And that's it. That is all I've got. Got nothing else.
A Shopify thing, so you don't have to like stock it. People can just buy it.
Yeah, right. You've got a brand, and you've got a brand. You showed me your logo. It's a great logo. So literally go on to like you say, Nicole, Shopify or whatever.
Yeah, people would love that on a hoodie or a t-shirt. Also.
Yeah. Well, he's got a hoodie.
We had one for Full Moon, and we just made it so that we could buy our own team t-shirts and stuff. And then people were walking around with our t-shirts. We saw them in the wild, and we're like,
"That's so cool, isn't it? That's the best feeling ever when someone's going with your like, look what I've got." Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, totally. You'd be surprised. You've got a loyal little community. You've got a good community. You've got members of whatever. So you're at your Patreon. They'll buy it if they love you. They'll buy your stuff. So it's just another thing to.
It's something. It's been on the list for 2 years to do it, but the reason I haven't really done it before now is because I've changed the name of the channel a few times, and I've changed the logo a few times.
Yeah. So stuck with it now.
Stuck with it now because I've had it tattooed on my hand.
Oh well, there you go. That's the logo.
And it all started. I'll show you if I don't drop it. I bought this from one of the guys in the chat.
Wow. Look at that.
That camera.
Oh no. It doesn't say made in Taiwan or anything like that. It's I can't see where the camera's pointing.
Yeah, we can see. That's all good.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah. So it became Alien in a Jar.
Yeah.
And it was Baby with a Laser, Darren, who's in the chat. he's not going to be in it much because I know he went on holiday today. He's gone over to Wales, so if anyone wants to stalk him, he's around there somewhere. But anyway, so he told me that he had this, and I was going up to Manchester because that's where he's from, and I was going up seeing family. And he goes, mate, I goes, are you selling it? He goes, make me an offer. So I made him an offer. He's like, deal. I'm like, oh my, I need to get up there. So it was like about 4 days later, I went up for the weekend and got it. And the moment from buying that from him, everything changed. The channel name, it was a complete flip to the channel. I think the channel was good before, but the moment from getting that, it was just a whole new outlook, just everything about it. Yeah. It was like, that was like
a channel to a brand.
Yeah, it was a missing link.
Yeah.
And even the logo, that's AI. Okay. I just did create a black and white image of an alien in a jar, and it come up with that. It's like, it's simple, it's black and white, and you can see it, and that's it.
Yeah. No, it works as dream. There's your brand. Yeah. There's your merch. There's the next level. Yeah, totally. Get on.
I know, because that's where the Alien 8 UK came from. So I bought the domain of Alien 8 UK. Yeah. So I bought it was alien8.uk, and I also bought alien8productions.com and alien8 NATE productions.com. So no one else could get them, so now I can do what I want with it. I even looked into copyrighting it, and just to apply for copyright is £1,100. Yeah, that's not even you. That's not even you guaranteed to get it.
Right.
And then each bit of copyright, you've got merchandise, you've got people using your name, you've got people writing your name anywhere, and each little thing is like an extra 50 quid, an extra 20 quid, an extra 30 quid. But this is lifetime. You don't have to keep reapplying. Once you've paid it, and it's good.
Right.
But the guy was telling me, you what, sorry?
All I did was a $20 DBA doing business as, so we could use the full moon name.
Okay.
So we get robbed over here. I need to move to America.
Right. License everything.
I know.
We just try and like cover all bases. We just try and like have our name on every whether we use whatever social media or not, we just try and have our name on every social media just in case, you know.
Yeah, well that's what I've done. So I've done Andy DeCodes and then Alien 8 UK. So I've managed to get either both and or one or the other on all the different platforms that I'm using. I've just gone on to X and I've managed to get Alien 8 UK on that. So it's like, yes, because a lot of the time you put it in and it's like taken. Who else has got that? Why would anyone else want to take it? Do you know what I mean?
But they do it. So, we had a nightmare with TikTok. We had someone basically putting our videos off of YouTube, putting them on TikTok as like three separate videos. They'd split one of our videos into three, put on TikTok. And we're like, and they called themselves like Paul.Whitewick, so it wasn't my username. They were doing it every day. They were doing it, and they were getting millions of views, right? And I'm like, so I was complaining to TikTok, saying, "This is my stuff, mate. Yeah, can you get this taken off?" And for a year, they said no. They said, "Sorry, we can't prove that you." And I was like, "What do I need to do?" I was like, "It was a nightmare, wasn't it?"
On TikTok. Just to do
so they said, "Oh, well, you haven't got a YouTube, you haven't got a TikTok account, so we can't that." So I'm like, so I created a TikTok account, but it made no difference. And then like 6 months later, after I'd just given up with it, and I was just letting this guy nick our stuff and getting millions of views. 6 months later, they sent us an email, like out of the blue, like a different department, and they said, "Oh, would you like to come on to TikTok and put your videos on TikTok?" And I said, "Yeah, but there's someone else doing it already, and it's not us." So within 24 hours, they had them removed, and we're like,
"Wow." What? You know what they've done?
Say again, I'm sorry.
You know what's funny? When we try to stream this show onto TikTok, it says it's not original content.
And I got banned for 24 hours. But you know what TikTok have done? They've been looking at the messages you've sent, and they've gone onto your YouTube channel and seeing how many followers and views you're getting, and like, yeah, we want a bit of that.
Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it? But it took that for them to actually get their backside in gear and move it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's just funny, like what they flag and what they won't flag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's don't TikTok, X, Instagram. Don't even use Snapchat. I don't even know how to use it anymore.
No, I have to get my kids to show me.
I haven't used that one in a while. I'm on TikTok. I'm not on X. I mean, I am, but we don't use it.
Yeah, that's the key. Just get on them all and then just leave them and do what you like.
Yeah,
basically.
It's mainly YouTube, Facebook.
Anybody uses Threads?
TikTok. Yeah. Oh, Threads. I've got it because it's part of Instagram and it just keeps coming up. It's like, what's the point of having Threads because I've got Instagram?
Yeah, totally.
Threads is like yeah, but Threads is like the crappy version of X. They're trying to make it like Twitter, and it's just not working.
I think it'll die a death soon. Give it another year, I reckon.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I'm sick of it popping up on my phone.
Yeah,
I know, like, even look at it and it tries to bring me to Threads, and I'm like, I don't have Threads.
Yeah, but then you click on it and it takes you back to Instagram. Why don't you just show me on Instagram? I don't need to see it in both places. I know I've uploaded the content. So, yeah, cool. Some of it can be annoying, but I'm guessing you guys love the learning process as much as I do, of learning how to edit, how to add music, how to, like the transitions that you were saying before, because I use Academic Sounds for my music. That's £15 a month, because I only have one channel per platform, but it's got a massive range of music, and it's just, when you find that bit of music, it's like, oh my God, that is perfect. That is absolutely spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, we use Epidemic Sound.
Yeah.
We use Epidemic Sound and we use Story Blocks because they've got a similar sort of different range of music, but they've got sound effects and a little bit of sort of what do they call it? Like just video footage, just random little snippets that you might need from time to time. Stock footage plus they've got like transitions, they've got like filters just to add some, even if it's like some rain you want to add or something different, But yeah, there's a whole world of good stuff out there.
Yeah. So Darren, Baby of Laser, the one that I bought that thing in the jar from, he played the guitar, and he, without going too dark and deep, because I'm good at going dark, he wrote this song. It was like not long after his brother, he'd done it for his brother because he died. So I use this music. He sent it me so I can use it. So I've got it. I've created 2 new videos, break videos, and it's him playing the guitar. So I've done that for when the break. In fact, am I all right to play a little bit now?
Yeah, of course.
Is that right?
Yeah, nice.
So you can have a listen, because it's not been on for a while, and I just wanted, let's see. I'll just play like 30 seconds of it, and then we'll come back on. I'll do this one. There we go.
Cool.
Yeah. So I just put that bit of a thing at the front, transition, and then let people know we're having a break. And then it's Darren's music and it kicks in. Yeah. But it's nice and chilled, and I didn't want to go. I started off I went down the creepy music and the Halloween-y type stuff, and like using the sound effects and all that. And I wanted to move away from that because it is a bit cringy. So that's why I've got, with the intro, it's a bit of a disco beat going on.
I mean, we talk about like all kinds of different things, but the show's never like
weird stuff. No,
it's always
I wanted to give it a bit of a uplifting feel about it.
Yeah, it works. So, definitely works.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to have some proper guests on soon. Some ones that are actually going to talk relevant to you.
No, this without being horrible to all the other guests. This is the stuff I need to know because I'm getting nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, but make sure you've got our email if you need any help.
Yes.
We love like.
Oh, thank you.
Chucking ideas at people if you need, thumbnail ideas. Really, really sort of love helping. Any community. You guys have got a good community, clearly.
Definitely.
So we can help you.
Sorry, without giving your email address away, I've got one at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that the one?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Email anytime. Just email across and go, right, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'll send you. Obviously, I'll put my email, but I'll put my contact details in there as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
ideal.
Cool. Thank you. Do appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Just more work for me to do. Basically, you've come on and gone, yeah, your thumbnail's shocking. Sort it out.
Well, it is.
No.
I notice on TikTok that when I just do like a stupid like lip syncing video, it gets way more views than anything else because my face is there. And the algorithm likes faces.
Yeah. But get this. So we was looking after the Mrs. Son's dogs while they was in middle of moving house. Anyway, we'd gone taking them for a walk, met up with him, and we'd gone to this lake. And one of them stood in its own dog poo. So the son's there scraping it off the bottom of his foot with a baby wipe. I filmed it. It's all like 26 seconds. It's nearly 6,000 views in less than 24 hours. Because it's a French bulldog and it stood in poo. It's like 5.9 thousand views in 24 hours.
Yeah.
If only I knew.
Dogs. It's crazy. Do you know how long it took my dog's TikTok to get to like 1,000 followers? Like a week.
Day.
You know how long it took me to get there?
I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. But no, it's just learning like the way the algorithm works and
totally.
That's the main thing.
It's a balance of enjoying yourself and making something you want to make, but also if you want the views, learning how to sort of rein that into YouTube's.
But I always try to avoid legit bait, as it's now known, because I felt bad. I just felt bad, like, you know, when you say this is the scariest video you will ever see in your life, and you click on it, and it's some bloke walking through a forest and nothing happens.
Yeah. But it's got to be, I mean, the word is legit. You've got to make it what it actually is. But it's that balance of trying to find, you feel bad, but then all of a sudden you get paid. And you're like, I don't feel that bad.
I don't feel that bad.
But
it's still got to be. Now. People also know now, I think. Clickbait and legit bait is enough of a thing that people know what the deal is.
Yeah. I think as long as you're giving them what you are telling them, then be poetic with it, push the limits of it. As long as you're giving them what you're actually saying,
that's what is legit bait rather than clickbait.
Totally. I mean, our second biggest viewed video is called something like "Everything You Know About Roman Roads Is Wrong," and again, it just explores about 5 different myths about Roman roads. And you're like, okay, it's pushing it a little bit because everyone knows something, but it's like it's pushing it, but it's still offering people all these random myths. So they've almost forgotten the title before you've given them this good piece of info. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
I've got the best title for this: the longest podcast in the world ever. Part 1 to part 8. I'm just going to do that.
Can you watch the longest podcast ever?
Yes.
Or listen ever?
Yeah.
People like challenges.
Have you got what it takes? There we go.
Yeah. That you can't make it to the end of this podcast.
I'm loving that comment.
There we go. Everything Andy knows about YouTube is wrong. Well, it is now, isn't it?
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
We have a couple questions in here. If we
Oh,
want to hit them real quick.
Yeah.
we still got a few minutes.
Yeah. This is from Daryl Paraman. Have you ever been to Reculver Towers and Richborough Fort?
Thoughts? No, we haven't. No, we haven't. No, we tend to, our videos sort of were born out of a route. So we used to love exploring A to B and what can you see along that route. So we always used to look at Roman roads. Can you see this road? So we never really tend to spend too much time in a place rather than explore and tell the story along a route, if that makes sense. And no, we haven't. Nope, we have not. Embarrassingly, no.
No.
They have something to add to your list.
Yes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Right.
name.
Probably
I think Paul and Rebecca have probably accidentally done some haunted walks.
I don't know what he means, but you're probably right. I mean, I was in this. I'll tell you a quick story. What?
Whitewick.
Yeah. So I did a video with I don't know if you know another YouTuber called Sam Walks a Lot, and she's into the whole folklore side of things, and I'm into the history side, and we did a little collab.
Yeah.
So we're filming in Whitewick Forest, right? And then we got there and we didn't realise it was all private. So really embarrassing, like, oh God, what did it do? You know? So we went in via this one pathway which you're allowed to go on. And we just thought, you know what, there's no fences. We just go off the beaten track. So we went off the beaten track by like, oh God knows, like 2 miles in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of this forest. And we find this really cool tree that had fallen down and coming out the bottom with all these wonderful mushrooms and all this. And we're taking photos. And we're stood on this pathway in the middle of nowhere. And we're both sort of looking this way forwards, like this, like us now, right? And we both just looked at each other to talk. And there was a woman stood right here. Like we're in the middle of this house in the middle of nowhere. And this woman was dressed all like druid-like.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right word is. Like
I say yep as if I was there. I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
It was only from afterwards.
Right?
Yeah.
And she just said something like, "Oh, it's really peaceful, isn't it? Walk between the two of us and carry on walking."
Yeah.
Now, I'm not into like paranormal like you guys, and I'm the skepticalest person in the world. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, you know, nothing true. But this happened. And I'm like, that was too surreal. It was like the weirdest thing. So we probably I don't know what the comment was. We've done some haunted walks. We've done a lot of haunted walks, I'm sure, inadvertently. Yeah.
So would you ever consider going out and doing an actual that you know is a haunted walk? So say like Greyfriars up in Scotland. You know where you can go under the town? Is it Edinburgh? I think it is. I'm not sure where it is.
Yeah. I mean, I've done like loads of random ghost walks through my life. Like York have quite a lot of ghost walks, don't they? And I love them. I absolutely love them. I'm not sort of. I don't want to come across like I'm anti, paranormal or anything. I'm not at all. I love it. I love the whole mystique of it. I just struggle to sort of believe in it all. But I love the ghost walks of York and places like that. They're so fascinating because there's a lot of history involved too. And the crossover is always the case. I'm just doing a little video at the moment on Glastonbury tour. The crossover between the folklore and why people sort of made up this King Arthur story, the Round Table, and how they sort of made up this story to sort of bring pilgrims to their site. And it's like that embeds in folklore for 1,000 years, and it becomes important. It becomes a really integral part of the history of this place is the folklore.
It becomes a reality.
Yeah.
Totally. So that'll bring us into this next question because I know where this is going. So, Paul and Rebecca, are you familiar with the work of historian Alan Wilson?
No, I'm not. Are you? No.
So, I hope I get this right because I've only been learning about him for the last couple of weeks via phone calls. So, Alan Wilson does a lot of historical stuff. He's got a YouTube channel. There's another guy that he worked with. But they do a lot around Wales and about how before England, before the UK was the UK and England, Ireland, Scotland, well, it was just Britain. That was it.
Yeah.
And how a lot of stuff goes back to Wales.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So got, like you saying earlier about King Arthur, that there's 2 King Arthurs, and one of them's Welsh. The real one was the Welsh one.
Okay. Yeah.
And it all goes back to how our history is pretty much Welsh. So, like I said, it was pre England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. It was just Britain, and the majority. It was Britain was Wales.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of pre-Norman, pre-Roman. Yeah, we were Brythonic, I think is the right word, and a lot of those words remain in the sort of the place names, so you can tell that all these, like we live in a place called Andover, and it's got a little bit of Welsh in, which is very early Britain, early Brythonic. So absolutely,
But it's like, oh, sorry, go on.
No. I was going to say we've done a couple of videos on that sort of thing actually. I don't know what channel we've joined with. We've joined with our second channel, so I don't know if you're looking at. I don't know if you can tell from which channel we've joined with, or if that's not even a thing, is it?
I don't know.
But that's on our main channel.
Yes,
I'm talking rubbish, Carol.
I don't know. But it's like I only found this out about 2 weeks ago that why a lot of people didn't like Henry VIII, not obviously because of what he was doing, but he was originally Welsh. So Tudor was spelled T-W, I think it's T-W-D-R. So Tudor, as we know it, originally was a Welsh name.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that stems back to Wales, like pre-UK.
Oh well, he knocked down the church that was on the top of Glastonbury, or most of it anyway.
Oh,
so, we can attribute him to that. 1539, whatever it was. I think he left all bar the tower that you see today.
Yeah. So there's a lot of history now that stems back to Wales, and a lot of the hieroglyphs, like we saying, Rebecca was saying about going to Egypt. A lot of the hieroglyphs can be translated into Old Welsh language.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant.
So, just a thought for you for future documentaries.
Love it.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. Absolutely, I've learned so much. I just need to remember it all.
Email us.
Yes, I promise I will email you.
There's a question for you. If you want to highlight that, look, did Paul enjoy his burger on Beacon Hill?
Yeah, I'm just going to put that up.
That's one of our partners in crime, Mr. Headley.
Oh, is he?
He made me a burger on Beacon Hill, and it was very tasty. To be fair, it was very tasty.
Yeah.
So yes, he did. Headley, he did enjoy his burger.
Excellent.
It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you having us on and listening to us talk rubbish about YouTube.
Thank you. Oh, it's fine. Anytime.
It was great.
But I was going to say I do another one. It's called That Monday Face, which is non-paranormal.
Yep.
So if you guys want to come on there, do that one. Obviously, it's on. I used to do it on a Monday because it's called That Monday Face. The reason I called it That Monday Face is because everyone has different emotions on a Monday morning. Usually glum because you got to get up and go to work at stupid o'clock in the morning. But then there's like people that are on holiday, people going away, or different things have occurred in life, and it's usually on a Monday at the start of the week. So if you guys want to come on there, you are more than welcome to come on.
Yeah, just send us an invite. Absolutely, absolutely.
Definitely, 100%.
Oh, then I'm gonna miss it. We gotta have them on a Wednesday.
You have to have a Monday off.
Oh.
So Nicole does Wednesdays and Fridays.
Cool.
Because of the time difference between the UK and New York, them 2 days she can get out of work early, so she can get on the show for 8:30, which is out free her time, but she can't get out early on a Monday. So
fair play. Yeah,
it's just the way it goes.
Sad face.
Yeah. Monday sad face. There you go. That's it. Yeah. So thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Paul. So where can people find you again for you?
So basically, if you just type in my name, which is Paul Whitewick, and look on YouTube, and you'll find the channel Paul Whitewick. Simple as that.
Yeah. Excellent. So thank you again. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah. Good luck with you. Good luck with the next 23 hours or 22 and a half hours or whatever it is.
Enjoy it.
You crazy people. We're going to bed.
I don't know. I am tomorrow. There we go.
Good luck.
So there's YouTube champ. So thanks again. Take care, guys. Let's see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Right. So first guest
of 22 guests.
See, I did not know how that was going to go. I didn't know if it's paranormal, non-paranormal, and it was very, very interesting.
I love not knowing who the guests are, not being able to do some research beforehand, have no idea what the heck we're going to talk about.
Yes, I think they're the best ones. So yeah. Right, there's about 27 more guests to come on.
27, that's a lot of guests.
Plus co-hosts. So we are going to bring our next guest on in, what's the clock? 2 minutes. So he's sat there ready and waiting. Oh, sorry. My iPad closed down. Right. So our next, I don't know what it keeps saying. So our next guest is the wonderful Kevin Day, who's retired from the US Navy. So he's going to be talking a lot to do with, I'm guessing, because I don't know anything about that. I'm hoping and guessing it's UFOs and all that kind of stuff. So I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong, I do apologize.
Sidebar, what if every time your camera zooms out, it's because someone is standing behind you?
Thanks. I just think it's because of ET and the monk.
It's going that way. It's going that way when it zooms out.
You got the alien head there, and there's a gargoyle just to the side there.
Or
yes.
Spirit standing right over your shoulder.
Yeah, thanks. So on that note, moving on quickly before I get, what's the word? Abducted. That's it. Yeah. Well, so we're going to bring on the wonderful Kevin Day. Hello, Kevin. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Aloha from Oregon. How are you?
I'm not tired yet, but we'll see how it goes.
What possessed you to go a marathon on a podcast?
This isn't even the first one.
This is second one. I'm not doing any more. Don't care what anyone says. This is the second 24-hour, and we did a 10-hour one a few months back as well. So
you're a beast. You're a beast. There was a few times when I had to stay up 24 hours on the ship while on deployment. It's not fun.
Well, no,
it's raining here, so.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah. Winter's here. We're getting snow up in the mountains already.
It was like 80 degrees here in New York for Halloween last night. 80 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, it's weird weather. It really is.
Wow.
Those weather systems are going to hit at some point, and here comes some late fall weather, I think. Violent weather in the Midwest. Who knows?
We get everything. We get every single season in like 2 hours. It's not even a joke. You look out the back window, it'll be great and absolutely throwing it down. You look out the front, blue skies. It's just, it doesn't make any sense at all.
We get 4 seasons here, and I really love it. You know, we have an hour to talk, and I do have some things jotted down.
Yes,
but I have a question for you, Andy. You know, a lot of people have heard about the Tic Tac story already, and I'm sort of wondering if you want to focus on that, which I can certainly do.
Yes.
Or if you kind of want to know what's been happening since then, or just a combination of both. Or
well, I'm glad you've mentioned the Tic Tac, because my question is how. So we had all these Tic Tac sightings at the beginning of the year, and then it just, as quick as he started, nothing. Or we're told that there's nothing.
That's true.
Well, there's been some recent activity over on the East Coast, over above a military base. And forgive me, but I've forgotten the name of the base. It could be Lejeune, and I'll have to get back to you on it. But apparently there was just over the last few weeks, there's been what appears to have been a mothership dropping out probes, and then the probes turn blue and take off. Now, from the research that I've done and from talking to the the physicists that I've talked to about it, not about this particular event, but in general, when these objects go blue, that means they're going into warp. And oh, by the way, you don't want to be standing under one when that happens. So you will get cancer.
No.
And that's what I've heard. Yep.
Wow.
See, I've heard similar. Sorry, go on.
So there's been some recent activity, but I do agree it seems to come in waves, doesn't it? Kind of inexplicably.
Does it actually come in waves though, or are we just told about it?
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. For example, we know about a couple incidents with the U.S. Navy, of course. How many have there been that we haven't heard about? And what about under the ocean? What about under USO activity? What's happening down below that? And the kind of the reason why I segue into that, because during the Tic Tac encounter, it lasted about 10 days. And if you were to count up all the objects that I personally tracked, there was about 100 of these things. And every single one of these things disappeared off radar in the vicinity of Guadalupe Island off the coast of Mexico.
Oh.
About 60 miles north. And so Lou Elizondo came to interview me quite a while ago now with Tom DeLong. And I told him the story, and they went out to the island. And apparently the story is a fisherman had been observing these things dropping from the sky and into the water for a long, long, long time.
Right.
There's something down there. I mean, why else would they go to that spot over and over and over and over?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. So I always used to think that UFOs come from other planets, from outer space. They come down visiting us. But there's just been, if going back in the history of records and everything archived, there's the actual documentation of a lot of them coming out the water, coming out the oceans, coming out the seas. So are they already here? Were they here before us? Have they always been here? Are they not coming from other planets? Are they all?
Well,
origin is Earth.
I have a speculation, I have to call it, and it actually turns into a postulate. And I've actually had math. And it's funny that you've talked about AI earlier, because I've used AI to come up with some mathematics based on my my ideas here. But if I could back up just a sec, when this Tic Tac event happened in carrier air strike group defense, we have we're protecting the aircraft carrier. Like, let's say this printer behind me is the aircraft carrier. Now I'm gonna have stations set up all around it, just in case the enemy comes. We're ready to defend the aircraft carrier. And they're called combat air patrol stations. And long before we fly or anything, those are all assigned, all briefed and everything. And during the during the Tic Tac encounter in 2004, we were going to do an air defense exercise, and we were going to do one of these training exercises. The notional bad guys were coming from the beach out of Miramar. But anyway, long story short, Fast Eagle 01, Commander Fravor does the intercept, and for whatever reason, right after the intercept, that object went to his assigned cap station.
Oh.
And not close. It was exactly on it, lat long in altitude. And it was the same radar object, because it kept the same track number the entire time. Now that always kind of kicked my butt. It was like, why in the what was that? It was about 2021, right after Commander Fravor had went public. We decided to form a little company, a nonprofit called UAP Expeditions. We formed a little expedition, SoCal X, rented a beach house, Huntington Beach, up on the flat top roof. And guess what? They showed up for us again, right above Catalina.
Oh.
Yep.
We
tracked them on radar. We had all kinds of gear. We had visible infrared cameras. We had radium detectors, spectrometers, radar systems, EMF detectors, gamma ray detectors. We were loaded to bear, right? And we recorded all this data. And I was thinking about that. You know, that's the second time they knew my intentions. Back in 2004, they knew my intentions to set that darn cap station, which was secret.
Yeah.
And there they are. They knew my intentions to be on the roof. How else and they came through a dang wormhole, according to the physicists that were there. Not my words. So go ahead.
What's your take on that then? Do you think everything's sorry, just say that, do you think everything's already happened, or they're putting the thoughts into your head and that's why you're doing what you do?
Again, I have to remind you, Paul, this is all speculation on my part, but I had to come up with something, okay?
Yeah.
I think the missing link here is something called intention. Because they intended to go to the cap station and they knew my intentions and they intended to be there, okay? Intention has something to do with this. Now, let me ask you a question. I've thought about this for years now, decades, all kinds of research. I'm like you, I spend all day learning stuff. You're gonna realize that here in a minute, all right? Now let me ask you a question, because this question is priority to everything I'm gonna say. And I don't have the answer. It's binary. It's a binary answer.
Yeah.
Is the universe intentional or not? I don't know. Do you? So I have to assign it 50-50.
Yeah.
But that's huge. Think about that. That's huge. That means there's a 50% chance that the universe is intentional. Now think about this. Walk through this with me, because this turns into some really beautiful mathematics at the end. Watch.
Yes.
Okay, let's go with the affirmative. Yes, it's intentional. Okay, the next question. What happened to the intender? Is the intender benign, just kind of hangs out, never does anything, never will? Or is the intender there and active?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nope.
50-50. If you think it's 49-51, go ahead, fess up, because I don't know. All right. Now think about
stuff.
Look at this. If intention created the Big Bang or even the steady state, and intention is still alive, like we're going to assume, well, in what form?
Yeah.
We know there's four forces in the universe. You've got gravity, you've got strong nuclear, you got weak nuclear, and you have electromagnetism.
Yeah.
By golly, there's got to be 5 of those puppies. Because if intention created the other 4, they have to be related.
Yeah.
That's the missing link. These objects are based on a fundamental force called intention. Now, that should turn on a lot of light bulbs, because if these things have intention, that makes all these physics that we're seeing entirely possible. Because it's built on a type of physics we didn't know existed before. And I have equations to back this up. And it's funny that you talked about AI, because just in the nick of time when I had this epiphany, right? AI came along. So I I started kicking the tires on it, and I use AI to develop calculus.
Right.
And I had base calculus equations. I went back and I integrated it back into fractal sets, Mandelbrot sets, existing astrophysics equations, socioeconomic problems, business equations, political equations. And by golly, it all integrates. It all aligns. It's perfect.
Wow.
It instantly aligns with everything I've ever trained it on. And not only that, it's astonishingly accurate. Like, it blows me away. So when you guys started talking about AI, I gotta tell you, man, it's about to change humanity in a way that I can only hope we're ready for. And that kind of brings me to another speculation. Why are they here? Well, think about this. What else has happened recently? AI. Now, if you assume that these things are maybe 1 billion years more advanced than we are, you know that at some point in their own evolution, they had to go through AI hurdle like we are. So just maybe one of the reasons why they're here is to give us a helping hand. So we don't
give us
blow ourselves up.
Yeah, point us in the right direction rather than you want to stop doing that.
And why in the hell would they care? Why would they care? And it goes back to the reason why these things going into the ocean. Now think about this.
I don't know.
If an intention created the universe, right?
Yeah.
We only have an hour, so I want to get through a couple things right here.
Yeah.
If intention created the universe, right? That brings up the question of life. Okay, what about the life part of this? How did that transform, and what's the purpose of it? So I think there must be a prime directive. If I have no other thing to call it, okay. So, and these things are going to the ocean, and I'm thinking about this. And on our planet, where do we think life began? Down at the bottom of the seas, at the hydrothermal vents.
Ah, yes.
You've got phosphates down there, and you got prebiotics. So what I think these things are doing is they're diving down in the water, they're grabbing some of those phosphates and prebiotics, and they're taking them back out in outer space, and they're planting them on potential host planets.
Mm-hmm.
Interstellar transpermia is what I like to call it, or even stellar transpermia. Sounds cooler.
Yeah. I like that.
Now, I got to tell you, I could be completely out to lunch on this crap, and I probably am, but I had to do something with this because it was driving me nuts. Because what the hell is this thing, and why is it bugging us?
That's it. That's the question. What is going on? But the side question to that is, why are we not being told what is really going on? Is it because we're not ready? It's going to cause mass hysteria and panic. It's going to cause race wars and riots and everything else. Or are they just hiding it from us because they want to keep us under control?
Yes and no. I think for a long time throughout history, they didn't have answers. So that in itself creates a security problem, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Here's in the sky and the government can't tell us what it is. It kind of creates a not really a distrust, but you're not sure that you really have full faith and confidence. Anymore, right? I mean, but now that the cat's out of the bag, I think they've realized and they've already admitted that these things are real.
Yeah. Here's a question for you.
Right.
Sorry. What if we are all AI? What if we are already AI and we don't know? And we've got a false consciousness.
Rephrase the question.
What if we're AI? Like, what if we have evolved, from a simulation or whatever, and we're all artificial intelligence?
We are already AI, and we've been given a false consciousness that makes us think that we are thinking for ourselves and doing our own thing.
I guess it's possible, right? Yeah. I mean, what creates the reality around us? I mean, is it a group intention? I mean, in other words, if you were the only consciousness, and that was it, just you alone, what would your reality be? Would you hear?
Yeah, you create
and see
whatever you could.
Or would you
create whatever feels comfortable, whatever you think is real?
So now, if you had two people or two consciousness
changes,
what would that reality manifest?
But so now you got two. Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got two, and they didn't intertwine at some point. Yeah.
What about three?
And it becomes like a jigsaw.
Right. It becomes a Mandelbrot set.
Yeah.
It's a fractal. Yeah, fractal reality. And it goes back to this math that Now, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a physicist. So how in the hell was I able to do this? What I think is going on is if intention is real, I mean, that means it's conscious and it's intention. It's intentional.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it, it created the Big Bang for heaven's sakes, right? Then what better proof could there be than for intention itself to create, self-manifest the mathematics that describes it? And for whatever reason, it used me to do it. Because I got to tell you, it sounds bizarre as hell even saying these words, but I don't. Someone else explain where this math came from. I emailed it to you. Did you look at it yet?
Yeah. I've got it all. Got it on the screen.
Yeah.
I can add and subtract and.
Well, I can explain. I can explain all of
it.
I can look at it and show you and tell you what it all does.
Yeah.
And it's because it's mine. I was the one that directed its creation, if you will. I formulated it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a statistician. You know, I can't go back and do the actual mathematics, the chalkboard stuff. But that's for me to look at those. It tells a story. Mathematics, look at it correctly, tells a story. So, yeah, and if you want to talk about, I got it on. I won't be able to see you for a minute because I got up here on Word.
No, that's cool. I'll just put these up as we go so that people know, like people in the chat know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to send them to Nicole, so I'll click through them so people can have a read.
I'm kind of scrolling down to slide 2 here.
Yeah.
Kind of give you a chance to digest it here for a minute. It's partially what we had already talked about. You know, where is the intention? We have 4 known forces. I'm introducing the 5th one.
Well, here's a question for you then.
Go for it.
You said about the Big Bang, so something with intention must have created the Big Bang. What if it wasn't? What if we was already here? And like you said, it wasn't one person, it wasn't 2 people, it was a group, whether it was tens, hundreds, thousands, and they manifested, their belief was, well, the Big Bang must have created all of this. So then it became a manifestation, which then in reality became a real thing, but it didn't happen. It was like not in your head, but it was a belief that was created rather than an actual. Oh, what's the word?
That sounds like the Cranberry song, "The Zombie."
It's one of my favorite songs, huh?
Mine too. You're talking.
You get what I mean, though, don't you?
The other competing theory to the universe is, of course, the steady state. It just always was there and always will be there.
Yeah.
Which begs the question that, you know, what about consciousness? You know, that if consciousness had to have begun at Big Bang, then consciousness must have always been, right? If the steady state is true. That's kind of, I think, where you're going with that, and it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's like we need to, like the way that before police, you had to police something. So that's why I'm not a religious person. I'm not going against any religions or anything like that. But I think religion was created to control the population. They had to say, like, well, if you don't behave, this is going to happen to you. God's going to strike you down in lightning and whatever. And this is going to happen to you if you do this or you do that. It was a way of controlling the crowds without having to go out and physically do something.
I think I'm a little bit more charitable towards religions. I think by and large they were formed because people are at heart good. Basically believe in good. And because there was a lot of mysteries back then, as there still is today, they had to assign a lot of those mysteries to things that they saw. Yeah. So it's a mixture of wanting to do well and some really wise people that wrote stuff and some phenomena they couldn't explain. And I think that's a lot of religions.
Yeah, they had to assign something to what was going on. But I mean, like once I'm just talking on like one side of religion now. It's like once the crowds were starting getting, we use the word fidgety and a bit anxious, they needed something to like, right, we need to do something now to stop them from all kicking off. So let's like try and police it a little bit, like take some control just in case things do get out of hand. And that's just like one side of it. I'm not saying that it wasn't created because for the people that were doing good, because I believe that as well. This is just one aspect of why I think religion was brought into play.
You're asking some really good questions, and
no,
I can only speculate about the religious stuff because my gig is the UFOs. I tell God, I tell God thank you every day, and usually I tear up when I do it because for me it's very much heartfelt, given what I've been through for the last 20 years. Even now it gets me emotional.
You okay? You okay to carry on?
Absolutely.
Cool.
That's how it's real.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you got the actual mathematics up here because I had a stupid Word document I was looking at. So what we're looking at here, I'm going to scooch in a little bit here. Basically, the way this works, I should have a whereas down here, but basically the summary of the applications is that the only one you have up? And if
I've got all of them. I've got the 6 that you sent.
Go ahead and go up to 1 if you could.
So, there we go.
There
is that 1? Yeah.
Okay. So I started thinking about, the formation of the universe and if it's intentional or not. And I started to realize if there is a force, it's got to have a magnitude and a direction. And I got my eye on the time here too. And so I wanted to quantify that. And I thought intention. Remember, if you look and you can see the funny looking F with the capitalized FF in the quotations there. Yeah, that's the representation for the forces, a function of the fundamental forces. You can see right away I've related intention to the fundamental forces. Directly related because they are, I believe. Now these other this I and this S means one that just represents what, is it constructive? Is it negative intention? Is it neutral or is it positive intention? That's all it means. It's assignable.
Yeah.
And the S is the scale. Are we talking about a Newt's intention to eat an anode, or are we talking about the intention that controls the cosmos? Right? And that's basically the base equation. And we could spend more time on this. Do you have any questions about this slide right here?
Well, I've got there's one question come up from Chris from Scottish Paranormal Podcast. So he's asking, are we a cargo cult?
I have no idea.
This I absolutely love this because
me too. I've learned so much. And I've learned long ago not to laugh at people because there's lots of stuff that I am unaware of.
But we're all second guessing.
I end up getting embarrassed later if I do that. So I respect the question, but I don't have an answer.
But I love the way that you're like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not just going to say what people want to say or what I truly believe.
Or be a dick and say something stupid,
Yeah, and just make some up because of the sake of doing it.
The person has a legitimate question,
Yeah. So
let's go down to 2 if there's no more for now.
2. There we go.
So this has to do with superposition and scaling. Now we were talking about this a little while ago. If there's one intending something, that's let's say you have all these micro intentions, something's bugging you, for example, and you just don't know why you should, for example, to go check the mail. Just something could be something benign, right? Something's nagging at you. I should go check it. I should go check it. I should go check it. And all of a sudden that manifests into you actually doing it. your micro intentions manifest into a macro intention of you doing the act, right? And that's what this equation says. The first part before right after the first equal sign. Now, what if it's more than you? What if it's you and Nicole intending something jointly? Now your micro intentions are going to aggregate and produce a different type of macro effect, right? And that's what the second part is. It's a superposition and scaling. And again, we could go into a lot of time on how these were developed and why and how they're applied and all that. If you could go down to 3.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just making a couple of notes.
The signs coming.
There we go.
Now, we were just talking about this Bell-Drake threshold. Now, when I was developing these, I started kicking the tires with the AI, and I said, well, wait a minute. At some point, there's going to be a threshold met. And it's got to be, I have to be able to use it to compute stuff. I mean, if I got all this pressure building on a teapot, right? And it gets too hot, it's going to blow up. It's going to reach a critical point where it's just going to explode, right? And I think the same thing is true for intentions. If they can reach a critical point, which I call T critical, then the macro effect happens. And I call it the Bell-Drake threshold. And I borrowed these people's names from equations and sets of equations from known equation sets that I've integrated with the force of intention, if that makes any sense. And that, remember when I was saying earlier how my idea aligns and integrates with everything I've ever tried it on?
Yeah.
Every day I try something new, and I have yet to find anything that gets broken by it.
Yeah. So what if there are some questions in the chat, but what if when you get that gut feeling, like you said, I've got to go and check the mail, I've got to go here, I've got to go and do that. You have that gut feeling to go and do it. What if that is what your AI is?
What does that mean? I don't understand.
So you know when you get the gut feeling, like your natural instincts to go and do something, and you don't know why you want to go and do it. So I'm looking at it like we're living in some sort of SimCity, simulated world. So that feeling that you get that, right, I need to go and check the mail, or I need to go to that shop and I need to go there now. I don't know why, I just do. What if that's like if we are partly AI, and that is AI kicking in, and then we're going to go and do that? It's not us choosing to, it's what's been pre-programmed or being programmed at the time.
That would be pretty sobering thought, I would have to say. Yeah. Because would that stand up in a court of law? Could I use that in my defense if I decided
if we could prove it? If we could prove it, then yeah.
I don't think that would stand up in the court of law right there, brother.
No. But then they're trying to bring in that premeditated thought. If you think of something before it's even happened, they're trying to bring that ruling in, aren't they? Or they was talking about bringing a ruling in that they can arrest you before you've even done it.
Yes, and I'll tell you what I practice now. I'm very careful at what I think about nowadays because it has a tendency to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but it does. And this was something I was gonna talk about at the end if we had time, but it's and I'm such a bonehead that I think I've got on my battery here. Let me check the time.
Well, you've still got 30 minutes at least.
I can always go grab the plug if I have to. Let's see here.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, pre-crime.
That's fine. You have 43%.
That should be enough.
What was your last question?
No, someone's just put prevalent zone in the chat. Put pre-crime, so premeditated, like before you even think about. Well, as you think about
right,
doing something, and then you can get arrested for it.
Yeah.
I don't like that thought.
I don't know if anyone's listening or watching this. I don't know how many experience we have here. People have actually had encounters. Whether touched the craft shot with their eyeball, or maybe even abducted, have no idea. But I do know this: a lot of people have what I've and others term post-human effects. For whatever reason, if you have encounters with these things, it can, not always, but when it does, it will change you.
100%. Totally agree.
Well, Paul, I'm sorry, in my experience, the changes were good, okay? But the problem was it was so drastic that everyone around me was shocked. Like, what in the hell happened to Kevin?
Yeah.
You know what? He's in the wilderness looking for gold, exploring a family mining claim, which I found, by the way. Remember I was talking about I became possessed to do this thing.
Wow.
It's such a huge find. Now NASA's interested in it. And you wouldn't believe what I found out there. The result of my geology work, they did a huge flight here, a huge NASA plane. They did LiDAR and all kinds of and then now there's earthquakes happening off the coast and everything. And I was able to describe it years ago, right? What was going to happen.
Yeah.
They found the hydrothermal vents off the coast of Washington, off the coast of Seattle. They didn't know were there before.
Right.
They didn't know that tsunami threat was there before. So long story short, my time lost in the frickin' wilderness, just maybe ended up saving some people.
Yeah.
Now, you were talking about unintended intentions.
Yes.
Like, that would have to be an example of one. But I mean, I was on the road. I was on the road to retire in Hawaii in a beach house. I was on that type of career path, right?
Yeah.
But because this happened because tic-tac happened and no one would listen to me, that hurt.
Yeah.
After all those years, got laughed at. All they heard was the UFO.
Yeah.
And I kind of look at myself as taking one for the team, because the changes that happen to you are good. You're going through life and all of a sudden you see something, you get this obsession to pick up a paintbrush out of the blue, or start making music, or go back in school and get your physics diploma, out of the frickin' blue. But it can be so drastic that you end up screwing your life up.
Yeah.
Think of all the people that have had problems with this. They end up in divorce, drug and alcohol problems. Some of them can't do it anymore. And it's because they were changed and
not free choice.
Didn't deal with it well.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was unexpected. It just literally happened overnight, and these people were expected to deal with it in the best way that they can.
So, in my case, I ended up quit. I retired from the Navy because I was pissed. Went to work for DOD and figured I'd try to say something, right? When I tried to describe what happened in 2004, again, I got laughed at. So I quit, decided to go get my master's degree, which I did. And it was kind of boring. So I wrote a short story called The Seer and some other short stories. And I published it in a book called Sailor's Anthology. Published it in the Library of Congress just to get it off my chest. That was in 2009, and I went on in life. And as best I could, ended up back home in the mountains. Ended up getting a house here.
Yeah.
Volunteering down at the golf course because it was struggling at the time.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, Tic Tac story broke open. I had evidence that it really happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had hidden it in the Library of Congress.
Wow.
Because in the story it says the word tic tac, and it names all the ships, and it describes the whole air defense exercise. And that's one of the reasons why the U.S. Navy had to come out and say, yes, it's real. Because they could not explain the presence of my book.
So did you get any comeback?
I don't have that writing. I've been told that's part of the reason.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, I can't show you an email stating that, in other words.
No, I totally believe you. I was just going to say, did you get any comeback from that? So because of what you'd written in this book and then them having to come out and admit what was going on?
Nope, quite the opposite. I've been encouraged to speak out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
By lack of someone telling me not to. And in fact, I think we're being used, Andy. You and Nicole and myself and everyone, all the guests coming up, it's all turned around now. And now the government is behind us. They want us to broach this to the larger audience of the planet because, like you were talking about, if all of a sudden these things come out and do land, yes, it could create an anthological
chaos
never seen before. It could be chaos. It could. I mean, how many religious faiths could that impact?
Exactly.
Good, bad, or indifferent?
Regardless,
I think the governments have to get the public ready because I think they figured out that they do not control this thing. It's coming whether we like it or not.
Yeah, but it's not just religions; it's cultures as well. I think that's going to be the biggest impact. Is all the different cultures, regardless of what the religion is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it begs the question: has this happened before on planet? I mean, even now, if like these structures like the Great Pyramids. I mean, that's an oft-used example, right?
Yeah.
Anybody really know how they were built and where that technology came from?
What do you think about the ancient civilizations, kind of being wiped off and having to start over, that thing?
My theory is, and it's the reason why. What was that? Oh,
sorry, I just moved the ET because it was the camera keeps picking it up, and as soon as you pick up and move it, it starts going off. So I'm going to mute my mic till it shuts off.
Right, Nicole. What happened to these great civilizations, right? It seems to me they should have continued on and even be better than they were when they built the pyramids, right? Something happened. Yeah. What I personally believe is they violated a law of integrity. Wherever let's just assume that they got this technology from them, right? It was imbued upon mankind to do something useful with, right? Which they did. But a small group of people got together and they tried to co-opt it for themselves. And to put it in today's terms, they tried to monetize it. If you try to monetize this thing, it's going to get you. Now, I'm not talking about you. You guys are in this is your profession. But I'll give you an example. For someone like myself that was encountered this way and given the gift to be able to see this type of mathematics and that type of stuff, I can't. I won't. I'm not going to monetize it. Nope. I'm not making that.
No, because that way you're giving them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Their intent.
It's an unspoken rule of integrity. I just feel it. I can't explain it, but I feel it. Now, will I do something tangentially with it? Sure. Right now, I volunteer with MADAR, magnetic anomaly detection and reporting system. And I don't know if you know a lot about MADAR, but basically what we are is we're a worldwide network. And right now we have like 260 some odd nodes around the whole planet Earth. And basically what that unit is about the size of my hand. I got one right over here. And when UAP are detected in your local magnetosphere, they create anomalies in either the field strength or the direction of the magnetic waves, right, that are coming across all the time across the planet. And this little unit, it'll filter out all the background radiation, like not gamma ray, but AM radio, microwave ovens, cell phones, everything else. So if there's a real anomaly, it sends an alert back to headquarters, back where Fran Ridge is at headquarters. And it gives off a loud alarm, and the operator, my node is 262 here in Oregon. You grab your binoculars, grab your recording equipment, you run outside and get yourself a picture of the UFO. That's the idea behind it. Not only that, they have all the data. In case the operator did miss it, you're at the store or something when it happened, but someone else saw it and got pictures, it still works the same way. Now we have the data collected. Now we're trying to get these units we're trying to populate the whole planet with these things. And, the project keeps me pretty busy. In fact, something else you've talked about with AI. Now I'm using AI to write some software. Python. I'm using Python with software.
Oh,
and
yes.
Basically what I'm doing is every second your data is updated. And it creates a data chain, goes back to headquarters because it's all data linked. All the data around the planet is going back to headquarters. So what I'm going to do, and it's kind of boring, you don't even know it's there unless you hear. So what I want to do is I want to take that data, I want to sonify it, where you can put a guitar sound on it, or wind chimes, or drums, or whatever, and turn the earth into music.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Turn the earth magnetic.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So not only that, it's a more pleasant way and a better heads up, because let's say I'm listening to a monotone wind chimes, and all of a sudden they go, and I'm standing in the kitchen. I'm probably going to realize something. Hey, something's happening up in the sky, and it gives me more of a heads up. Or Nicole and she lives in the next town, right? We have this units, and I have our sonifications fused, right?
Yeah.
And she's going to get a heads up. There's someone's coming her way a lot sooner than she would have otherwise. So AI is cool, and I'm using it.
You might have to move that guy too, Andy.
Yeah,
I know.
So I totally encourage everyone else to use it, because whether you like it or not, it's here. Ain't going nowhere. Get over your fright with it and kick the tires on it. Yep.
Yeah, just get used to using it for whatever reason you're gonna.
Yeah, he's a little salty right now about the AI, because the AI in his camera is going crazy.
Oh, I've got a new webcam and it's got AI, and I cannot. I've downloaded the app onto the computer, but it won't let me open the app. So I can't go into the settings to stop it from moving about. So that's why it keeps going in and out, and when I move, it moves, and it's so annoying. There we go. I didn't even do anything. Right.
That guy, I think, if that guy is not setting it off, then it's 100% a spirit behind you.
Right.
It's a little darker, but that sun was right in my eye.
Right. Okay. Right. We have got a few questions for you, Kevin. That's okay. So the first one is from Sober Carpa, and he wants to know, hi, Kevin, did your experiences continue after you left the service?
Have I seen more UFOs?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The ones in SoCal, that was many years after the 2004. That was in 2021, so quite a few years later. And what was it, about 2 years ago? My wife and I were sitting out here on the porch, and a plane was flying where it shouldn't have been. A big, huge plane, and it kicked something out the bottom, and it was a little orb, and it just took off in a blink of an eye. That's the only thing I've ever seen. I grew up in Cave Junction, and I'd never seen any UFOs here, or Bigfoot for that matter, because it's mostly Bigfoot country. And I spent all kinds of time out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
if they're out there, they can hide pretty well.
Yeah.
I found gold, but I didn't find Bigfoot.
Do you think there's a connection between Bigfoot and UFOs?
Huh?
Do you think there's a connection between Bigfoot and UFOs?
I think there would have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, an animal like that, there's no fossils of them. I mean, where's all their poop at? You know, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm very...
Are they carnivorous or vegetarian? I mean, what do they eat? Where are they? I mean, but then again, all the Native Americans had the stories about them, so.
Yeah, thousands of years.
Yep.
So.
And every culture has a Bigfoot-like creature.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the Woodwows in the UK, or Ape Man. You've got the Yeti up in the Himalayas. You've got is it the Yahoo in Australia or Australasia?
Mm-hmm.
So
to answer your question,
Yahweh, the Yahweh.
Then I think yes, there's definitely a connection. Yeah, I don't know how else you would explain it.
Thank you. Got another question off Nicola, and she's saying, Kevin, welcome and thank you. Are you aware of the active sites in the UK off the Yorkshire coast as an example?
No, I'm not. If you are, Andy, go ahead, because there might be people listening too that aren't. So,
all right. So where she's getting at, if you don't know the UK, so it's the northeast coast going up towards just before you get towards Scotland. So it's like facing out towards like Norway and Finland, like Scandinavia, around that way.
What's been seen out there?
Oh, there's been lights in the ocean, orbs, crafts going into the sea, coming out the sea, anything and everything you can think of.
Wow. What do you guys think it is? Haven't heard.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm starting to.
Is it biology or is it technical?
I don't know. I think it's a bit of both, but I'm heading now towards. This is why I asked you before. I am starting to believe, or going down the path of they were already here, and they're coming from. My big thing is in the Earth, and like the not so much the ice wall, but like everything that's going on in Antarctica. That type of stuff. So I'm thinking that they are underground bases, or they are in or under the ocean bases, and they're already civilizations down there that we don't know about, and we're led to believe that they're coming from other places, other planets, outer space, whether it's wormholes, stargates, portals, you name it. I don't know, but I'm heading towards the more origins are Earth. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, and if they are down there, they have mining claims. If they're at the bottom of the ocean, so they're getting the very purest phosphates that the Earth can provide. And probably, if I'm right about this, Earth isn't the only planet. I would consider us a nursery in the cosmos. You know, we're a nursery. Yeah, there's probably others. We're just one, but we're pretty damn important to these things. That's why they're not going to let us blow the planet up, I don't think. They might let us use tactical nukes, like little skirmishes that happen. It already has happened, right, in Japan.
Yeah.
But in terms of blowing up the planet, I think they would step in first, but who knows? Could be wrong.
Well, there's a lot of sightings around like nuclear power plants and things like that. So whenever there's any radioactivity going on, it seems like they're there.
Yep. Yeah. And they've been a couple times when they've shut the systems down.
Yeah.
Totally turn the plants off.
Yeah. There's been lots of when they've fired or they've gone to fire a nuke warhead, and they've like disarmed the warhead, and there's no way. I'm not that technical minded, not scientific at all whatsoever, but from the reports that I've heard, you cannot switch that warhead off without actually physically going into the missile or the missile and removing stuff and doing it that way. You can't do it via a computer or a remote control or anything like that. You have to physically disarm it on the missile itself, and they're bewildered as to how it's been done.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It kind of something you were talking about earlier is, intelligence. I've thought about these objects, and I think everyone just assumes that UFOs have to have biology inside the craft because that's where we're used to. I mean, we have cars and we drive them, right? I mean, we're kind of thinking the same way. But just what if these objects were alive at the nanoscale level? They have names and personalities and memories and ambitions in life and everything just like you do. They're alive.
Yeah.
But they're an object. We know it's possible because of AI, and we know it's possible because the scales are getting so small that we're able to do stuff. What about them? How far did they take it?
Oh yeah, they've gone next level, haven't they?
In our evolution,
technology. And you have to think, Nicole, if these things if NHI is real, and we can assume they're more advanced than us, and we can assume they're potentially millions, if not billions of years old, at some point in their own evolution, they too have had to have gone through AI evolution. And now it's fully ingrained in everything they do, and maybe even in them maybe even their biology itself. And that was that point you brought up earlier. Maybe the future of mankind is a fusion of AI and biology.
Yeah.
Scary as that might sound, perhaps it's not.
Well, they're already starting things like that with putting like computer chips in people's heads and things like that. Like, if you could have all the information of the internet at your
we're getting shorter on time, so I wanted to give you guys a hopeful message to hang on to.
Yeah.
Let's assume there's 5 fundamental forces, right? You've got gravity, you've got weak nuclear, strong nuclear, and electromagnetism. We know those exist, right? We know we can't create them, and we know we can't destroy them. We can transform them, we can use them. Well, if intention is a 5th, guess what? We can't destroy intention, right?
No.
So if our souls are intention, what does that mean for our souls when we die?
We go on. We carry on.
Yeah, and you can show it by mathematics.
Yeah.
So maybe that should give you a little bit of hope. Maybe our physical death isn't really the end. And maybe what we do here in life really does matter.
Yeah.
Maybe it really does matter. Maybe that's why we shouldn't act like dicks. And I won't mention any names, but our political around the corner, and I have very strong feelings. But I think that type of behavior, it follows you, not just in this life, but perhaps
the next round dimension, whatever you call it.
Perhaps your intention continues.
I definitely think that what you do here in this life continues into the next one.
It's not impossible, and it's definitely mathematically, and you can show it. You can show it by equations.
Yeah.
At least unless all my work's out to lunch, and I don't think it is. I've shared my work. I've shared my work. You should see the email. I'll send you.
Yeah.
I've shared it. I got one pushback so far, and I won't mention his name until I reminded him. Jack, don't forget my priority question is the universe intentional? And he didn't push back anymore after that.
Well, all I'm going to say is a good job I'm doing a 24-hour podcast, because after speaking to you, I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight anyway. So, got one last question before you go and the next guest comes on. So this is from Fred Flintstone, not the Fred Flintstone. Have you had a visit from the MIB? I know it's not the real one. I know his real name and everything. I'm clever like that. Has the government told you not to talk about anything that's happened?
Never. In fact, I've had quite the opposite experience. I've been
Yeah,
encouraged.
yeah.
Yep.
Like you said, are they pushing us forward to
Andy,
get the knowledge out there?
I have to tell you though, I know for a fact I've been being monitored for the last 20 years. My email, my phone calls, my whereabouts, everything I do on the computer. But you know what? I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally cool with it because I kind of hope my watchers are kind of looking out for me.
Yeah.
You think they get 20 years?
Yeah.
Watching around.
They can look at me all they want. I don't care. Nothing to hide, man. Bring it.
No. Yeah. No, it's all good. Massive.
I mean, I'm not perfect, but
no. Well, it's the best way to be.
I would go to church and stuff.
Yeah. No, but thank you, Kevin, so much for coming on. We will, if you're up for it, to come on as a guest, just do a solo on the normal show. Yep. Excellent. I've got all your details, so I will be in touch.
All right, thank you.
I will share the mathematics and all that, and all the text that you sent me. So if anyone, if that's okay with you,
I can send you some more of the background work too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, please do.
Yep.
So massive thank you, and would love to talk to you for more, but we've got like 5,000 other guests coming on, and
let me get out of here.
Enough hours. Yeah. All right. Have a good day. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. My head hurts.
We're starting off with a bang on this one. Like,
do you know? He reminded me of cross between Agnost, Preston Dennett, and what's the other guy? Your friend.
Which one? I have a lot of friends.
Staticom.
Oh, Ron.
Yeah, just with
the technical
devices. Yeah, the tech side to it all. Oh, and the guy who worked at the other place. Don't know his name. He worked on the Blackbird and all that. I can't think of his name. Someone help me.
I can't think of it.
He's been on a couple of times. He worked like the TG13 and all that. I can't think. I don't know. So
I hope you
in
the best way possible. Like, wow, we have 21 more hours of this.
Woohoo. Right, so Jim Goodall, it was. Yeah.
Leave it to nicknames now.
Yes. Right. So we have our next guest.
We do.
Yeah,
this is the mystery guest.
Yes. See, I didn't even know. This is good because he's such a top guy. Have you spoke to this person before? He's friends with our friend.
With our friend?
Yeah, our friend, Big Al.
Our friend, yes, I know which friend you mean. When you say that friend, I know which friend.
Yeah, right. So, as we are hitting... Ron is in the chat. Speak of the devil.
Hi. Hey, I've become conscious as culturally manufactured idea, no empirical grounds to believe it. Sci-fi made it seem plausible. Intelligence is not analogous to consciousness. Love you guys.
Yes, just to screw my head over a little bit more. But cheers, Ron.
Every time you talk, you hurt Andy's brain.
Yeah, he does. I think that was the real reason that I couldn't meet up with him, because I'd just be like a puddle of mess on the floor because I wouldn't be able to take everything in. So it's all good. Right. So as soon as our next guest is ready, I will bring him on. And
very good.
Yeah, we love you too, Ron and Lourdes. I will one day meet up with you both. Hopefully sooner than later. Yeah, that's weird. Right, so we're going to bring him on.
Yeah.
Is our next guest ready? I'm waiting for the nod.
Next guest, thumbs up if you're ready. I don't think he's listening.
No. I'll bring him on. He'll be like, oh, yeah, I am. Right, here we go. So it is an amazing guy, absolutely amazing, and become a good friend. It is the one and only Chris Reinhardt, who does Discover Sasquatch. Hello, Christopher.
Hi.
Oh, you can't hear us.
Can you hear us?
No.
Go out and come back in.
Yeah. You can't hear us.
And that's why I did the signs.
Yeah.
Go out and come back in.
Yes. That, I think, yeah, because his microphone's on, so I don't know why we can't hear him. So if he... Oh, there we go.
There we go. Again, it would not be a show without some kind of technical difficulty somewhere.
No, we've got 2.5 hours into it, and it's all good. So,
and
yes,
your
Chris,
camera keeps zooming in on that corner over there.
It's got to be that,
Yeah.
or that, or that, or them, or him.
The Goonies are. I don't know. It's just weird.
I have a lot more alien stuff than I actually thought I had.
Yeah, you do.
There's a alien cup up there somewhere. I've got the alien sticker, Bigfoot sticker, alien light, alien in jar, alien smoking weed in an ashtray, UFO, alien bottom. And this was all before it became Alienate UK. Hope you guys are enjoying the show.
Aliens were always kind of more of your thing, though.
Yeah, it always has been. It was like the first encounter that I had was some kind of light being.
Now, where did my camera go?
It's falling apart, guys.
What the? What? Where did my camera go?
Come back, Tommy. Always forgive him. You done?
I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know where my it just said my camera was disconnected.
Oh, that's what it did to me before, and then everything shut down. I had to reboot the lot. So hopefully Chris will be back on very shortly. There is nothing we can do. But Chris does. He's got the Facebook group, the YouTube channel, Discover Sasquatch. What is happening?
What is going on?
Oh, help me. There we go.
Okay.
I'm back.
I'm not moving. What the heck?
It's the AI's kicking in. Interbiological AI is what it is. Right, private chat. I cannot hear you. Go out and come back in. Yeah, right.
So the only thing that I had in my background was, I'll turn off, was the sign, the Let's Get Spooky sign. And I was telling Andy it was on the wall. And then I come in one day and it's over by the bed.
Yeah.
No idea how, because if it fell, it would have just fallen straight down, but it was over there. And everybody swears they didn't touch it. So.
I still think it was, is it Sean? I think it was Sean.
He was not messing with my stuff. He put it up.
He got you. Well, that was it. It's like, I'll put it up, but then when she's like, I'll kick it down, and it's a ghost.
No, you know the doll's not in here anymore. She's been in my car.
I won't be driving that.
I'm driving around with her and the clowns. And I have been for months.
No. Get rid. Right.
No, I'm not getting rid of her. She's sweet.
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
You, though.
Ah, right.
It says microphone's working, camera's working, everything's working.
Let me check audio on my side. One sec.
Well, I can hear you.
Good. Yeah, we can both hear you.
And I can hear you, Andy.
Don't know.
Yeah.
This is going to be another episode of Can You Hear Me Now?
Yeah. Episode 38. Right, what if we go out and come back in?
All right, you try it.
Right, let me leave studio. Back in. I hope I'm leaving and not ending.
Like I did that one time?
Cancel. Yes. Right.
That's when I almost got fired, when I popped in to say hi when I was at Mass Paracon and accidentally ended the stream from my phone. If anybody was
Yes, you did.
And you guys can hear me perfect, right?
Yes.
We can hear you.
I can't hear you at all.
Oh.
Is your volume up?
Settings. If you his settings on audio might be different.
Yeah. The only
I
problem
can hear
is
myself, but I can't hear you.
Settings in StreamYard. He's gone. I think it's his audio settings.
It has to be because I can hear you perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And the guests can hear us.
So when you go in settings, go on audio, it's your speaker. You need to check the speaker settings.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, he's not there to read the chat.
No.
I don't know. This is not good.
Anyway, well, why don't you tell everybody who Chris Reinhardt is while we're waiting for him to be able to hear us?
Chris Reinhardt is Discover Sasquatch. He does a podcast. He does a YouTube channel. Has a Facebook group. He's also good friends with Al Santariga, the Squatch Father. They go out investigating together to the part where Ali's from and to where Chris is from. But this is the best bit. So the first time I ever interviewed Chris, so he's in the basement of his house, yeah, and he's got a sound gate on his microphone. So we'd gone out just to check everything. There's nobody else in the house. So waiting to go live, and I'm sat here, and all I heard was, "Hey, you all right?" I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And then about 2 minutes later, Chris came. I'm like, "Did you talk to me?" He's like, "No,
good on my
I
settings.
was upstairs." I don't know. Anybody help? I don't even know what I can do. What could we do to change it? Audio.
It has to be on his end.
It has to be, yeah.
I don't know if it's like not coming through the headphones or what's going on because everybody else can hear us fine. There's a little bug flying around here. Oh, you've talked about that though, the EVP.
Yeah, and then I said to Chris, yeah, and he's like, "No, nothing." And he's like, "Was you recording?" I'm like, "No." And it was the best EVP ever.
Check.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, nothing's working. Oh my god.
1, 2.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's just. Can you lip read? Yeah.
Now he's blurry.
I'm gonna go back and try and I'm gonna leave again and see what I can fix.
Right. At least his camera's not going up and down.
Yeah. We're having all kinds of weird issues.
Yeah. It's the good thing is we don't have a guest at 12 o'clock, so we could have Chris technically for 2 hours. So it's not a massive issue. We just have to sit and chat. Does anyone mind if I eat some chocolate?
Oh, it's snack time? All right. Snack time. Oh, I didn't go downstairs and get my chocolate. I have a chocolate pumpkin from a wedding I went to the other day, but I didn't go get it.
No.
That's okay. I eat my snack.
I'm going to mute because I don't think people want.
I'm not going to mute because you can listen to me eat for snacks. It's ASMR, okay? We're going to do ASMR for the next hour. It's really hard to do a show when Andy's muted and is not talking. I mean, I can talk to myself for an hour, but I'm not going to be entertaining. Okay.
It's good. Right. Hopefully Chris will be back in soon. So when Chris has been on, we do know who the next guest is. It's Jenny Colucci and Anthony Simonelli.
And they're coming on a little early.
Yes.
They're coming on like 1/2 past.
Yeah. So it's all good.
This is investigation. This is Celsius and fruit snacks. Well, just specifically. This is my go-to.
Well, this is
all night.
Pre-workout drink. So, and I'm definitely not going to the gym.
I'm not either. I'm sitting my butt in this chair for 24 hours.
Yes. I might just sit here like this and just.
What?
I don't know.
You know, when we're done, I'm not even going to get up. I'm just going to throw a blanket on and nap here.
I'm just going to roll. I'm just going to roll there and that's it. Done.
I do not have to move though. So I don't have to set up downstairs tonight. I'm going to be up here all night.
Yeah, same. But I can just, I've got a lever on the chair, just pull it back and go horizontal and just throw a cover over myself. No?
She's fancy.
I'll probably wake up and not be able to move because all my limbs are stiff.
I can use my other chair that I switched out and like.
The one you robbed from your child.
No, this is mine from the office downstairs.
Ah.
Because I have to have 2 computer setups. I have the one up here in the bedroom and I have one in the office.
Right. Anyone got any questions while we wait for Chris to come back?
Or comments?
Yeah. Anything? Anything you want to ask?
Questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah. Anyone work at StreamYard?
Right. Could you imagine if somebody's
know.
like, yeah, I actually run StreamYard.
Yeah, but they're sat here watching us struggle. And I'm having to pay extortionate amount of money for it as well.
I would if I worked at StreamYard. I would just watch people like having trouble with it. I'm just there and laugh and be like, yeah, we're fine.
And it's gone dark again. Just done a swap. Don't know what, a changeling swap? An abduction swap?
Swapping infants? What are we swapping?
Swapping computers? Swapping guests?
I think the last one might be. Doesn't matter. We never have a clue. Can you not tell this? We don't have a clue. We just wing it. Swapping guests. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Tommy still at the birthday party? I think he is.
Tommy is actually going to be on in 2 hours 45. So it's all good. Oh, Rendlesham. Rendlesham was good. Didn't really get activity as such. It was like eerie feeling in that, but the weirdest part, and we spoke about it last time, was there's me, Og, Mike Millward, Alex Lovelock, Tim Smith, and Mike's dog. It was dark. We walked around. We got to like the back end of the forest before we got on the road and walked back to the car park. We all had torches. Had been out that day and bought a brand new torch. I had my normal torch, a UV torch, laser pointer. Not one of us put our torches on. I'm looking into the trees, trying to see if there's anything there. I've got a torch in my pocket. Didn't think of using it. But this is where it goes back to, are we was I told, was we told not to put our torches on? You know what I mean? It's like, it wasn't our choice to not do that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it was something that you
the collective. Yeah. But we all like made a point of we've all got torches.
Yeah,
So,
and none of you put them on. That is so weird.
No. Yeah. Mike's dog he's got bike lights on his dog, a red and a white one, just in case the dog like ran off, you could see where the dog was. And that was it. So he put them on, and we're walking down through the trees, and this is 7, 8 o'clock, so it's pretty dark. No, we like walking in the dark and not seeing where we're going in one of the most active forests in the UK.
I wouldn't have your flashlights on.
No, it makes no sense. I think Chris has given up. He's probably gone out.
Yeah, Nickname said she was doing a swap, but were you swapping for now, Nickname, or are you swapping something later? So if we don't have a guest this hour and we don't have a guest next hour,
it's just us two chatting for 2 hours. Oh, what fun! Oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Not swapping now, right?
Not swapping now. Okay.
So let me
You're
see.
waiting on our guest to come on.
So I was just seeing if Chris had messaged me, but nothing.
I don't know. I hope he can figure it out. It's been really interesting to talk to him.
You reckon I could order pizza, get it delivered, and eat it before he gets back?
I got Wendy's delivered.
We don't even have a Wendy's.
I just got it dropped off.
Good. Yeah, should we take a quick break?
Yeah. You know what we could do?
I can't see it. No. So I'll just tell you quick. While we're waiting, I'll just give you a little insight to what's going on. So as you know, we're having a new kitchen fitted. So today they've come in, they've ripped the kitchen out. We've got a sink and like the white appliances like fridge, freezer, dishwasher, blah blah blah. That's it. So we had to empty all the cupboards because like getting ripped out and thrown away. And Becky went, "Oh, do you want this?" And it was that Sambuca bottle. I'm like, "No," because that reminds me of the night that I nearly died. Oh, I don't want to ever see that bottle again.
Bad. So bad. And I wasn't even drinking the Sambuca.
But I had to so I had to book to go for a blood test because I've got high blood pressure. I have to have one every 6 months. And initially I had booked it to go on the Saturday, the day after. Yeah, the day after when I couldn't move, walk, see or anything. Anyway, I sorted it out, so I was going on the Wednesday. I went on the Wednesday, my blood report came back as my kidneys or my liver is very dry and loads of other stuff. We needed to take another one because it's quite concerning. So I took another one. It was you got to wait about 2 weeks because you've got to get done at the hospital now. So about 2 weeks later, I went and got another one. Hadn't drank since then. Come back, yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, I know it is. Right, let's see. Fingers crossed. 1, 2, 3. Chris, can you hear us?
I can hear you through the speakers of my computer. Now I can't hear you through,
Awesome.
through my headset. I don't understand why. That's not right.
I don't know. I found when I was setting my headphones up for this, if you go into settings, then audio, and go to the box where it says speaker, click on it, you get the drop down box.
That says what?
Speaker. So in audio settings, you've got mic.
Oh, in my own computer, yeah.
Yeah, in StreamYard.
Oh, in StreamYard, I don't have a speaker option.
Do it on your PC then. You go into settings, audio settings. Let me get it up so I know what I'm talking about. The settings, sound, sound settings. Then he'll say, choose where to play sound. Mine's got speakers, real tech, digital audio, the monitor, or headphones. And then choose which one.
Right.
Because you can have that set up separate.
See, I run through a Rodecaster soundboard and it's not picking up my soundboard for some reason.
Ah. That'll be it. Yeah, you can't just set your speakers on StreamYard. You have to set them on the computer as well. You have to do defaults.
Yeah.
And yeah. And when you don't know about it, you're like, why is it not working? And you're just thinking, it's StreamYard, they're taking all my money and you're not even working. And it's like, no, it's just your computer settings, mate. You don't know what you're doing. I'm like, yes, I know that now.
I never know what I'm doing. I just wing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it lets me choose my Rodecaster for the multi-channel, which I'm on, which I got the microphone and everything, but it won't let me hook up it won't do the speaker part.
Could it be the cable?
Yeah, it might be the cable.
As long as you can hear us.
Yeah, it's annoying though, isn't it, when you've got a setup and you can't use it.
All right, so you guys can hear me.
We can hear you.
Awesome.
And I'm just going to take my headphones off and we'll let it ride like this then. That's weird, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But at least I'm here now. I felt bad. I'm like, oh my God, he's doing this 24-hour thing and everything was working perfect. And then boom.
It's all
Nothing was
good.
working perfectly, so don't feel bad.
Okay. Am I echoing or is that a problem?
No, you're good. We've been riddled with tech issues since the start.
Right.
Yes. No, it's good. Thank you for coming on, Chris.
And
it's been a long time.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, us too. Because we love the Bigfoot and Sasquatch, and that I think that's my new thing of getting into is Bigfoot. Yeah, because there's been a lot of people coming on, and there's been a lot of stuff in the media lately about all this that's going on.
It's really interesting.
It is. It's. I don't know. It's because it just seemed to take like a step back from everything else. Like with the last guest that was on, Kevin, like it was a tic tacs and the weather balloon, and then you've got all this with the weather conditioning and everything else, and then Bigfoot was kind of like in the shadows, no pun intended. And then obviously you got Dogman, you've got like spirits and loads of people going out doing investigations. So it was very not happening. And then it just seems like out of nowhere, it's like, there you go, here's 1 billion videos of Bigfoot. You choose which ones are real and which ones are fake. Here's our stories. This all goes with it. You decide. It's like, okay, I shall. I think it's all real. I don't care. But
I hope it's
just
real.
Yeah. All right, you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Oh,
All
right.
Let's go.
Now, no more echo. I was echoing hard, so I'm sorry.
Oh, we
that's
couldn't
cool.
hear you.
All right, now let's go. I apologize. 100. I'm gonna have to do a super sticker when I get off of here for my.
It's cool. It's cool. We're just glad that you're on. We really are. So how's the world of Chris Reinhardt?
So things have just keeps on getting stranger and stranger and stranger and stranger. And as I move down this pipeline of Sasquatches, obviously where most people know me from, but I have now moved on to full apparitions in my house, and Maria and I have experienced two crafts now. Stuff like it's just like it's compounding. So
wow. Yeah, because I was just talking about the first time I ever spoke to you, and you'd gone doing stuff because I explained that your setup's in your basement, and you've got the sound gate on, and so no other sound can come through when you're not in the room. And then I said to you that somebody said, "Hey, are you all right?" It was a normal voice. I'm like, "Is there anyone else in the house?" And that he's like, "No, the kids are still at school. Nobody's back home from work yet. There's just me down here. It's like a 3-story building. So even if it was someone on one of the other levels, there's no way I would have been able to hear them." And it's like, and then you said to me, "Man, are you recording?" Well, like nearly crying. I'm like, no. And it was the best EVP ever.
So since then, we've been catching EVPs like crazy in the forest every time we go out.
Yeah,
they're imitating us now. They're copying our words. I don't know what it is, but they're intelligent responses and stuff like that. So it's pretty neat.
yeah.
Are they mimicking your voices or just the words that you're like talking?
They're doing. I have a certain whistle I use, so they mimic the whistle. But like we were up at the place I call Rock Throw Alley, and the rocks come flying in. You know, you hear them coming through the foliage, and I go, "They're here." And then my other buddy, then a rock comes in, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, they're here." And then all of a sudden you hear a voice go, "They're here." None of us.
Not creepy at all.
Yeah, no, it's very creepy. And then the girls, there's 2 girls on my team, and they heard a pig grunt, and you could hear the recording. And they, Shayna goes to Mary. She goes, "Did you hear that?" And Mary goes, "Yeah, I heard that." And I was right behind him. I'm like, "Well, what'd you guys hear?" And they said, "We heard what sounded like a pig grunt." And I was all excited. I'm like, Sasquatch make the pig grunt. They've been known to make that sound. So I get home, I throw it all in the editing, and I play it. And all of a sudden, there's 2 guys saying hello to each other. One guy goes, "Hello." The other guy goes, "Hello." And that's what they mistaken as a pig grunt. And we picked up hellos like plain as day. I don't even know. I might have them loaded up somewhere. But
So do you think then that when you're listening to it, or it must be that the frequency is changed when you're picking it up on audio, whether it's digital or analog?
right, yeah.
There's got to be a switch over of some sort.
Right. So we're thinking that frequency has a lot to do with these guys. Since the last time we've talked, Maria had hummingbird feeders out in front of the house here, and for a week. Did I tell you the story already about the hummingbird?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Okay. I don't recognize it.
All right, so I'll let it rip. I'll go from the beginning. So my first mind speak happens. I get a face. Yeah. And a name is Natari, and it's a female-looking Sasquatch. I do meditation at night, so I get this image in my head and in the name. And Natari is a name that I've never used in my life, and that's all happens. And I go that night. I said, "You need to give me a little bit more than just my head playing tricks with me, because anybody can think that you're going to hear a name or see a face, and it's in your own head." You're going to have to show me something. So the next day I get up, I go downstairs, and my wife she goes, "What's out in the backyard?" And I'm looking out in the backyard, and let and behold, there's a Tupperware container and a stuffed monkey. Now, to anybody, that doesn't mean anything. But to me, for 6 years at my trading spot, we put all the gifts in Tupperware containers, and we used to hang stuffed monkeys in the trees.
Yes, I remember you telling me that.
We asked for the physical proof, and we got that. Yeah. We hung the monkey in the tree. 2 weeks later, I had another thing of another Sasquatch telling me his name was Archibald, and all this. It was just very strange. And the next day, Maria goes, "Well, look outside. Guess what's gone?" That same night after I had that second vision or meditation or whatever you want to call it, I don't know what to call it. The monkey was taken out of the tree. And then Maria proceeds to tell me that no animals have been coming to her feeders for the whole week. Squirrels, birds. I mean, she tries to feed everything she can. So that whole week, nothing comes. And then that physical thing again with the taking of the monkey. So as the week progresses, Maria keeps on coming in and goes, "There's something that's taking all my sugar water for the hummingbirds, and is plucking all the flowers off, and they're throwing the flowers all over the place." So we never even put one and one together. And this happened for 4 days in a row. And on the 4th day, she comes in and she goes, "Well, you better go outside and tell your friends that I want my flower back, because they took one of the flowers. I only have 4 of the 5. I want it back." I'm like, "Okay, Maria, I'll go outside and I'll tell them that you're going to get your flower back." The next morning comes, and she comes inside and she's like, "You're not going to guess what happened." And I'm like, "I don't know what you're about to tell me, aren't you?" She goes, "All 5 flowers came back, and they were all in a nice little, neat little pile underneath the hummingbird feeder. All in a pile, all there. The fifth one that was missing is now back. That night we're in bed and I'm sitting in bed and all of a sudden the house starts shaking, like shaking. And my grandkids live with me and they're in the bathtub. So I figured it's them in the bathtub. The pipes are running. You know, I just thought the shaking was all them. I get up, I get out of open up the door. I'm like, what's going on? What are you guys doing? You know, what are you shaking the stuff for? And Maria hollers up the stairs and she goes, there's a blacked out helicopter hovering over our apartment right at this moment. And sure as hell, there was a blacked out helicopter hovering over our apartment, all blacked out, just hovering like 50 feet above our place. Craziest thing I've ever seen. And then I had a buddy that is in the BFRO and he worked on airplanes. And he said, I never knew this, but he says all flights need to be registered and logged. Whether it's a helicopter, whether it's a plane, whether it's military, whether it's anything, everything has to be logged. Well, we looked for that helicopter flight for 3 days and we could not find one log of that airplane anywhere, the helicopter anywhere. Really? So my buddy goes, well, it's only one thing now. It's somebody that doesn't have to register the helicopters. But after that night, that the Sasquatch activity at the hummingbird feeder stopped after the helicopter. So now proceeding another 3-4 nights later, we're going to go vote. And we walk out of the house and I go up and I'm going around the car and I look up and I'm over the house is a craft the size of a football field. And it's about 100 feet above our place. It's all bronze and triangle panels and it's not making a sound. It's just hovering there. Maria follows me. She comes around. I go, Maria, look. And I'm pointing up like that. I'm like, Maria, look up there. She goes, she looks up there. She goes, I'm not looking back up there. I'm like, Maria, you got to look up there. She's like, oh my God, what is that? I'm like, what do you think that is? Look at the hair on my arm just standing straight up telling this. And it just starts floating away. It's not making any sound. And there's 3 lights on it. There's a red light and a blue light on one side. And there's like a clear light on the front of it. And it just hovers. And then when it banks, it goes like this, boom, on its side and just and moving. So we're going down the parking lot and we're pointing and there's people in back of us. It's like 6 o'clock at night and people are taking groceries out of their cars or coming home from work. And we're sitting there going, look at that. Look at that. Now, I didn't realize this until afterwards. And I'll tell you the story, how it continues. So we're like, look at that. Look at that. And then Maria's like, get in the car. Let's chase it. Let's follow it. So we get in the car with none of the whole time. We never even think about taking our cameras out or anything. This is just, it's unreal. So we're following it. It goes up the hill here. There's like a little hill, and then it banks again to the left, and then it starts getting to the forest. And as soon as it hits the edge of the forest, boom, gone. Just poof. Gone. So Maria goes to me on the way back down the hill. We're still shaking her. What just happened? What was just happened? She goes, the craziest part is the people in the parking lot never even paid attention to us. It was like we weren't even there, she goes. We were screaming, saying, look it up at the sky, look up at the sky. And not one person turned around and looked at us. Wow. It was the craziest couple weeks that we've had. Maria doesn't want nothing to do with this stuff. I mean, she hasn't been in the forest in 6 years. We got followed one time while we were at one of my places, and she hasn't been back since. And she doesn't want this stuff happening here at the house. But that's a quick version of how it all went. But that's what's been going on here since I think the last time we talked.
But I like that response. Get in the car, let's chase it.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was the size of a football field, and it made no noise. Just hovering. And it was only 100 feet above the place, and we have a three-story place. So
literally touching the roofs, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, do you think the helicopter was a real helicopter? I'm not going to go into my story, but do you think it was an actual helicopter, or do you think it was some sort of cloak?
Well, I think it was because it was shaking the house. I mean, it shook me out of bed. Yeah. So,
wow.
So then I started telling people about this story. This is where I started with the frequency thing. So I started telling people about, the hummingbirds and this and that. And I have a friend named MK Davis. I'm sure you guys have heard of MK.
Yeah.
And MK is a very good friend of mine. We talk all the time. And he tells me that he has a hummingbird feeder, and he had the same exact thing happen at his place. They would tear the hummingbird's feeder apart, shake the water out or drink the water, and that's what would happen. It kept on happening and happening and happening as he had Sasquatch activity at his place. To this day, he's had strange activity going on by his hummingbird feeder. Now, he like parked his car there like this summer, and his batteries were drained out of his car. So I put one and one together. I started looking into the hummingbirds. I looked into what their base frequencies when they were flying, and I found out what the hertz level was. So I went out and bought a tuning fork.
Yeah,
got to be something to do. He thinks that they don't like the hertz. They don't like the hummingbird thing. I have another guy named Kumbo Baker. You ever hear of Kumbo? Down south. He's a good guy. You should try and get him on your show one time.
Yeah.
Been around for a while, but he tells me that he's heard that before, and he thinks it's a young juvenile Sasquatch before they can use their vocal cords or whatever they're doing to call out to their parents, or to make whatever they're doing. He thinks it's the young ones, and it makes sense because we started using that hertz level of the hummingbirds, and we call them in twice, once here in Connecticut and once in Florida. We had activity after renting the tuning fork.
What's
We
the
even got down in Florida swamp. We rang the tuning fork. We walked away. My buddy turns around to me and he goes, "Are you still playing with that tuning fork?" I'm like, "No, it's been in my backpack." He goes, "Listen." We listen. It's something's resonating the same tone back to us in the middle of the green swamp of Florida, in the middle of 3 miles into the swamp. We walk down a little bit farther away. 3 of us are sitting there. All of a sudden, on the side of us, we get growled at, growled at, and then it approaches. It comes at us, and we're like, "Whoa, what is going?" And that was it. We turned and we walked away from that area because that was very close. But here in Connecticut, we ran it, and that was the day we got the EVP with their here and the stones thrown at us. We had 3 of them come around us. So.
Wow.
Or the frequency thing, you're onto it. That's why I wanted, long story short, with the frequency, I think that's a major part of what's going on with all of it.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, because they report hearing like a certain frequency or a certain tone before UFO encounters a lot too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think it has a lot. I think if we all, work together instead of working apart, we can get some answers. I don't want no harm to come to anything.
No.
I don't want anybody else getting hurt either, but awareness is important because, I had like a crazy experience at my trail one time where it sounded like a dog was injured, and it kept on leading us in, and we'd get to a spot and it wouldn't be there, and it'd be 50 feet up. We'd hear the dog like it was hurt. It was like whimpering.
Yeah.
And then 50 feet. Finally, my buddy goes, "Whatever this is luring us into the woods." So we turned around, we got back onto the road and had a rock thrown at us and growled at again, grunted at it. To this day, he still hasn't forgotten it. But the next day I saw a mother and 3 kids going up that same trail.
Yeah.
What if they ran into that? They don't know what to expect.
Well, yeah.
So awareness is very, very important. So all this is like weaving in and out. I'm sorry I get all pumped up when I talk about this.
No, it's cool. We love it.
Honestly, I'm sorry.
It's great. That's the best way, because you're reliving it. You're going through the emotions and the actions of everything that went on. So we're getting a true account of what happened. And I think that's the best way to tell these accounts. Definitely.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Well, that's what's been going on up here. I got a new project, as you can see behind me. It's called Real American Monsters. I'm doing like a lie. I'm going to do my own show of showing real interactions from real people out in the field and showing it on camera, capturing it, and stone throws and EVPs and all that stuff, and just letting it and posting it and letting everybody see what's really going on.
So you're doing the full spectrum of the paranormal.
Yeah, so I'm going into everything now. I'm going to be going into doing the ghost hunting part and everything. So we're going to go and see as much as we can see.
Yeah, you're gonna have to a full moon one. at some point. You're not too far.
Yes.
You're in Connecticut. We're in New York.
Oh, sure. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
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 Well, I definitely got to come to America now. I have no reason not to go.
You should come, man, and you have
I
a lot
know,
of
I need to.
That's for sure.
Well, when I came over first, like 5, no, 6 years ago now, first place I stayed was Connecticut, West Hartford.
Yeah, West Hartford. Yeah. That's about
around that area.
40 minutes away from me.
Oh, is it? Yeah. So yeah, I stayed there. Then went to Boston, New York, Rhode Island, all like New England. So it was good. And every time I went out in the car, because I was a passenger, and I'm looking at the side of the road, and we went to begins with M in Connecticut. What's it called? It was on the way out to New York.
Where'd you go?
Maryvale, something.
I don't know.
And
There's
it's
a lot
something
of
like
towns in Connecticut.
these mountains, and it's like just big grey rocks, and I'm just looking like, please see Sasquatch, please see Sasquatch. Didn't see
There's
anything.
a lot of big grey rocks.
Did not see it. Did not.
Dudleytown?
Meridia?
Is it?
Meridia? I don't know.
Meriden?
I don't know. You come
Meriden.
over.
That's it.
And
Meriden. Yeah.
Chris and Al
Meriden.
have to go watching.
Yes. Well, that's where Al's going to take me for my first paranormal investigation at the Shanley.
You're going to the Shanley?
Go.
Yep.
You could go. She lives that. She's got a bed there.
I
Oh,
don't
really?
have a bed in the Shanley. I mean, I do have a designated bed in the gentleman's quarters for when we go. I'm like,
All right. Well, I'll
There
let
you
you know
go.
when Al, when we decide to go, because it's going to probably be the end of November and early December, probably.
let me know. It's a half an hour from me.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I figured if I'm getting EVPs here, if I go to a haunted hotel, I might get real lucky and maybe get to see a full apparition or a touch or something.
I saw a full apparition at the Shanley, actually. So you might.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
My psychics tell me not to go. She goes, I'm not ready for that stuff yet.
You get out of it what you put into it. Like, there's a lot of supposed darker spirits there, but if you focus on communicating with the light ones and not really giving any attention to the dark ones, then you'll be fine.
Well, then that'd work out good because I'm filming for Real American Monsters. It's going to be one of the episodes, so the Shanley's going to be one. So, first one should be out in probably about 3 weeks. It's called Lured, and it's about that me and my buddies encounter with the dog whimper. We recreated it. We went and filmed it at the spot, putting a little time and effort into it. So hopefully it goes well.
Yeah. So is this coming out on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, it'll be right on Discover Sasquatch. Yep.
Cool. Right. Just so we know. Excellent. Yeah, Nicole asked a question before, but I don't know if you heard or if Nicole forgot. So you're saying about the hummingbird, and you found out what the frequency was. Can you share that with us?
I can. I'll share it after the show. It's just being tested, and I don't want it to.
Right.
You know what I mean. It's not that I don't want to tell people. Don't get me wrong, and I don't want to, be snub to the listeners or anything. But I don't even know if it's true yet. We've tested it twice. It's worked twice. I just want to make sure that no one's going to get hurt. And of course, if you put one and one together of what I said, maybe you could, figure the pieces out. I'll give you a hint. The hummingbird wings.
But then you don't have to put a disclaimer on it that if you use this and you get eaten by a Bigfoot.
Right. And it worked. I'm telling you, it worked twice. And the Florida one was crazy because we got it back.
That's
right. So it's a thing. Like back in the 1800s, there was a lady that was hanging out her laundry, and she's doing her laundry and hanging it on the clothesline. And in back of her, she hears a hummingbird. So she turns around to see the hummingbird, and lo and behold, behind her is a giant Sasquatch, and it's logged and it's in writing. David Ellis, he works for the Olympic Project. He found the article because he's interested in the frequency part of the thing too, and the hummingbird signature. And there's a kid named Treston. I don't want to butcher his name, but I think that's pretty close to it. He caught.
Yeah.
Him and his mother put out a peanut butter jar, and they got a recording of a Bigfoot sitting there eating it. And while it's eating it, it resonated a hum, and they called it the Bigfoot hum. So this hum thing is a thing. It's a thing, and people are starting to go, oh, I got a recording of humming. Oh, I've heard this before. I've heard that. And we're bringing those bull roars, the Australian bull roars. We're getting response to that because they make that sound. But it's very cool, and we're all working, and people like Doug Hychek and David Ellis, people that you wouldn't imagine that you could work together with, they're all getting involved with this frequency thing and really diving into it, and it's pretty exciting. I think it's like a step in the right direction. So
yeah, definitely. I'm looking into it with like paranormal research, if playing certain frequencies changes the activity in a place as well.
Right.
So
right.
Oh yeah.
All the paranormal.
Yeah, it's very. I think it's everything. I think it's that link between the veil and here. I think they all use it. I mean, when I first started this, I thought that Bigfoot was a monkey and it could hide really well, and I was going to be the first one to catch how hard can it get a picture of a Sasquatch? Well, you know what? It's pretty hard to get a picture of a Sasquatch. Everybody, very very hard.
Yeah.
And but as things progressed and you get shown things and you open your mind up a little bit and don't get stuck in the rut, it presents itself to you in its own way, and then you can grow with it, and you can see what's really happening in the forest. And once that forest opens up to you and you start feeling good about the forest and feeling like you feel one with the forest or whatever you do.
It's
an individual experience, actually. So but it leads to answers, and if we all keep working together and start hollering at each other, and this can't be, maybe one day we'll figure something out in our lifetime.
What are your thoughts on the theory that people's vibration changes their experience? How they say some people vibrate at a higher frequency and they're more likely to have experiences. Do you find that to be the case?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think the Bigfoot will interact with someone with a better aura than someone with a bad aura. I think that's what they look at. I think light has a lot to do with them. I think they can see light, like intense light. I don't think it's the cameras that bothers them. I think it's the light itself, like the IR light. I think it just, like when they walked up on that one Sasquatch and they beamed the light on it. What is his face? His face just goes, wah, and then he takes off. I think it's the light that bothers her eyes, because we were on a ridge in the Ozark Mountains at 2:00 in the morning, and we were watching one walk between two trees with a thermal over our shoulders. And the guy that was there turned around and grabbed something out of his backpack. Now, this guy was 50 yards away from us, turns around, pitch dark, no moonlight, grabbed something out of his backpack, and that Sasquatch jumped right behind a tree and started peeking at us, because he saw us in the pitch black from 50 yards away. Turn around. So I think the light has something to do with it too. So light and vibration, we're going towards Tesla, right? Nikola Tesla, what are the keys to the universe? So I think he knew what was going on for sure.
But do you think, because Nicole hit on that a little bit then, like you saying about the frequency and us humans being different frequencies, do you think that therefore not just Sasquatch but all the different types of phenomena, that they can have an effect on how our frequency changes? So it's not actually us doing it, they're emitting something to us to change our frequency so that we have the ability to have an interaction with them.
Right. Yeah, they're resonating. I mean, they say spirits can make you feel sad, or they can get you mad, or how they do that. Well, they're doing something to you. They're either, entering your body, or this is just all my opinion, everybody. Don't take me to the bank on all this. This is just my opinion and way I feel about things. But you're right. I think that, the spirits can change the way they can make you cry. I mean, right on the dime. People say all the time, well, they're doing an investigation, all of a sudden they start crying. They don't even know why. So yeah, that's got to be some way of them vibrating or whatever they do to, yeah, but I think you're right. I think you're right onto it.
Yeah, so I don't think that they do that with, back to what I was saying before about the intent of doing it to cause harm. I think they do that as maybe that's their only way of communicating and to get your attention by giving you that emotion. Not because they had a bad ending or anything like that. It's like, I've got this frequency and this frequency will cause them to cry or get angry or whatever. But it's the only way I can contact them to prove that I'm here. Do you think it could be that?
Yeah. Good. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, of course.
Like, I don't know how to tell you I'm sad, so I'm just going to make you feel sad instead.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. See? On to something.
Yeah. I just need to remember everything I've said tonight.
No, that's my problem too. Al always tells me too, write it down.
Yeah.
So I got my book.
You ready?
Forget to write it down.
I've got a couple of post-it notes. I'm also in the corner because I don't get an AI camera.
Yeah,
Oh, God,
what's going on with that, man? Side pocket.
So if you turn it, it should.
Getting too fancy on us with this moving camera stuff, man. We all don't got that option.
The camera's not even moving. It's inside the actual camera case itself. So it's not going left and right and up and down. It's actual inside of the camera that's doing it. I don't know how to stop it.
So let me ask you guys a question. What made you guys think about this 24-hour podcast? Because that's a lot of talking.
Andy likes to talk.
Yeah, I just thought, we did one at the beginning of the year, and I thought it was really good. And I like the conferences, and I have always thought about setting up a conference. I spoke to a few people. I know some guys that do them themselves, and I know how much hard work there is to get people to go and getting the tickets out there and finding the venue and all that kind of stuff. So I just thought, well, this is kind of like, it's a conference, but you don't even have to leave your house. Yeah. So get different people on, just keep going, do 24 hours, and then regret it for about 3 days because you're overtired and you can't sleep.
Right.
But it's good to get all you different guys that talk about different stuff, or you the same thing, but you all have different theories. And it's just like picking your brains and then us giving our ideas and theories and just putting it all into the mix and see what we can come up with at the end of it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And I just do what he tells me.
Yeah, well, now and again. And it's just, I think it's good. It's a good community vibe. Everyone in the chat loves this kind of stuff. I hope they do. They should do. If not, there's something wrong with them. But it's just good. It's like, because I can't explain it. It's just that feel-good factor of doing this and pretty much getting everyone all together in the same place, not necessarily all at the same time. It's like you guys are like, what, 4,500 miles away, and it's amazing. It really is. I just love doing stuff like this.
And it really allows you to get people on from different time zones, because 3:30, like, I know for me, like Eastern time, it's hard to get certain guests on. But if you're doing it 24 hours, you're going to find a time that works for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I chose this time. This was perfect for me. So
have a lot more variety of guests.
Because I'm an old man, so I got to go to bed early, and I get out of work at 4. So this is perfect.
Same. Yeah. It's like 5 to
you
midnight.
get a lot of ideas. That's why these podcasts work so well, because you get a lot of ideas from different people that you would never even talk to, or be able to talk to. And then sometimes you can reach out to these people after the fact, and they'll be like, yeah, hey, sure, we can talk and, compare notes. And that's pretty huge in my book to get to talk to people that you would never thought in a million years that you would be able to. So,
yeah. And that's it. Like we're saying, like setting up a conference. Like if you do it in the UK, it'd be difficult to get people from around the world. Like you've got to cover costs, traveling costs, hotels, all that kind of stuff. This way, it's like flick of a switch when it works, they're there. They're on your screen and we're all chatting. So it gives us a wider opportunity to talk about the stuff that we're passionate about and that we're trying to find the answers to.
Well, God bless you, man. God bless you, because it's a lot to undergo, a lot of work.
Well, I didn't do anything. I just come up with the idea and let Nicola do it.
Yeah, she does a great job too. You should really be appreciative of her. She's
definitely
great.
Yep. It's all good. So I'm just looking because yes.
From Chris, why do you think they're willing to show themselves to some?
I think a lot of the way people interact with these guys are by mistake, because I think they come and go, but I don't think they can choose where they come and go. You know, like they'll pop in and then all of a sudden they're in front of a car. You know, they don't have total control of where they come. So I think there's a lot of that. But then I also think that they're here for a while because I think they hunt for food here. That's my reasoning why I think they come here is for food. Because we all know they're flesh and blood. When they hunt, they sleep, they're here. They eat, they defecate, they do everything that a flesh and blood animal does, but then they just disappear. So I think while they're here, and if you're interested and you're lucky enough to be around them and you are marked, because I believe they mark you, or they can see your aura or a certain vibration that you have, and they know that you know that they know that you know what I'm saying. They're going to interact with you, and they're gonna get closer to you. And I mean, I gifted with these guys for 6 years. 6 years we had gifting going on at my place called Larry's, and there was a family. There was 3 prints there. We saw the little one grow up from little baby prints up to 10.5-inch prints in 6 years. I just think it's a trust, and it's a trust issue, and if they trust you and they want to be around you, they're gonna be around you no matter what. Don't go looking for the Sasquatch, because that's a endless battle of nothingness. Find out where they are, look for their signs, and then just keep visiting, and then let them find you. And I think that's what they do. I think they find the people they want to interact with. But I think it has to do with that light, that inner light, the vibration that you kick off, the person that you are inside. Because I think they can tell. How? I don't know, but that's just my opinion. And I tell you that 6 years of trading with them, I've never had, when they would come and visit, you would feel, I can't even explain, you would feel so happy because they came and they left you something, and it was just like you worked so hard at it, and it was like a reward type deal. But it was awesome. But they come here now, and they've been here the last couple of weeks. We've had the houses being banged on the side with the brick, and Maria and I were growled at taking our groceries out of our car, and I was out with my boss that owns the place. We were looking at a job at the top of the hill, and all of a sudden a rock comes flying out of the top of the mountain, and he goes, "What was that?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm pretty sure that was a rock." He goes, a rock. I'm like, "Yeah, what do you think chucks rocks?" "Oh yeah." He's like, he knows what I do, but he's like, "It's a Sasquatch." I'm like, "Hey, you never know." He says, "Oh, it's probably acorn." So two minutes later, an acorn falls down. I go, "That was an acorn." And then he's like, yeah. So he kind of shrugs it off. Then about 2 minutes after, a big stone gets thrown, and it comes through the foliage, and it breaks a limb, and it hits the ground. Boom, boom, boom. And then he turns on me. His eyes are like this. He's like, "That was a rock." I'm like, "That wasn't a rock. That was a big rock." I'm like, "What do you think through that? I think that was a bear." And he just didn't.
Wow.
I said, "You actually had a Sasquatch experience right here that day." It was 9:30 in the morning. They're around, because I haven't been up to my spot because it got sold. So they come around here. I have a structure 50 yards from my back door. It's a big teepee structure right out done in the woods. The kids aren't building it. So that, I think they latch on to you, and I think that's for life. I think they'll follow you forever until you're not here anymore.
Yeah.
What is the coolest thing that you did?
Can I just pause us 1 second.
Yeah.
So we're coming up to the end of part 1. If Chris, if you'd like to stay on for a bit, I've sent you the link on Messenger for part 2. So because they're in blocks of 3-hour streams, we're going to have to end this one and then come back on the next one. Is that all right?
Yeah, I can call. I was late anyway, so I'll come back on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's good because we're all right for the next 20 minutes or so. Is that right, Nicole? Yeah.
Yes.
So I've sent you a messenger. So I'm going to end this one now, and we'll be back on it. It's just because of the time schedule for each one, because YouTube, you know what YouTube's like, a bit picky. So yeah.
All right, so we'll go that question in part 2.
Yeah, so we're going to go out, going to end this with the outro, and then coming in part 2. So anyone who's watching, you'll have to come out of this stream, wait for the next one, and that's going to go live in like 3 or 4 minutes. So thank you, Chris. Do appreciate you doing this.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, you are more than welcome every single time. Right, so let me end this one now. I'll see you guys in like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah. And everybody in the chat, go over to the news stream.
Go over to the next one. See you soon. Bye.
Goodbye.